Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I'm going live about now. Let me slightly reduce the volume of the obnoxiously loud pre-show. I guess it's always the same music, and it all looks now like Apple Intelligence, which, oh my god, this is not how I wanted to start this stream, but I didn't have much time to do like a pre-show, so we are gonna get it quickly out of the way. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mark Tech. This is me reacting live to the Samsung Galaxy Unpacked 2025. We're expecting to see, of course, the Galaxy S25 family, the regular S25, the S25 Plus, and the S25 Ultra. And we are expected to see a new version of Galaxy AI, probably something a little bit more Apple Intelligence adjacent that is focused more on on-device processing, like a new generation of Bixby rather than entirely relying on Google Gemini. But that's about it, right? I actually don't know what like headphones or tablets. Usually there are some smaller announcements as part of these events, but for today, I'm mostly focusing on the Galaxy S25. Zuboito joining the chat. Duelist Sage saying, hey, back. Abdul Bari Sheikh saying iPhone has some competition now. I would argue that the Snapdragon 8 Elite Chinese phones, depending on where you are in the world, are probably bigger competition for the most part, at least in an objective sense. I don't deny that Samsung, of course, has much greater reach, for example, in the West in general. And I myself prefer like One UI over basically any Chinese Android skin right now. And Max Maximus, I see you were already first here, saying you will check the stream out tomorrow, I guess, or the phone, doesn't matter. I'll actually be streaming tomorrow too when NVIDIA RTX 5000 reviews go live, probably a few hours after that though. So yeah, maybe we'll meet today, saying let's hope the Ultra is more exciting than the leaks. Yikes. Yeah, there aren't too many that big of hardware changes. Like we're still sort of stuck with 5000 milliampere hours. We are getting the same quote-unquote Snapdragon 8 Elite as all the other devices, and it seems like we are not getting the kind of uplift in thermal cooling capability. So it's going to be interesting. Not going to downplay it before I see it, much less, of course, reviews. But anyway, thank you so much for the €6 super chat. And for anyone else who is here, if you're watching this, you can, of course, support this channel in multiple ways. Just subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it out to anybody you think might enjoy it, and comment live. Let me know what you think. Give me your agreements, your disagreements, debate with me. Of course, you can leave a direct donation in the form of a super chat or super sticker like Max Maximus did. You can also become a channel member right here on YouTube. Depends a little bit on which region you are in, though. And you can become a supporter on Patreon. Duelist Sage, did it start 40 minutes ago? Yeah, that's the pre-play. The actual event starts at 7.
I'm off to the next meeting, but I need to find an Italian restaurant.
Like I think they're just talking about Galaxy AI in general, but yeah, this is not like it's all coming, which is a weird way to present this. And Relay joining the chat. Abdul Bari Sheikh, what are your opinions about the Slim? Well, 10 minutes before the event actually starts, I've actually prepared something for you guys. I just saw, sorry, I had like crazy 42 hours with like a 24-hour shift, and I didn't eat for like 36 hours, so I'm extremely unstable right now. But yeah, the iPhone Slim, which of course is going to get a more direct competitor from Samsung in what is most likely going to be called the S25 Slim, or maybe Samsung will call it something else, you know, like I don't know, the Galaxy Y series or something like that. And this is supposedly the iPhone 17 Air. Now, this is being leaked by Majin Buu on Twitter, and Majin Buu is notorious for being very up and down with his prediction, never reaching very high heights, and sometimes reaching absurdly low lows. I mean, I don't have to remind you of the fidget spinner camera redesign that was infamously leaked by him on Twitter. This does seem maybe a little bit more realistic. This does to my eyes, those show more of like an aluminum body, I guess. And it does show like this camera visor, though I still don't quite understand why you would want it like this for a single camera, unless you also want to have like a lot of components basically hidden in a big bump. You know how the Galaxy S5, for example, competed with the iPhone 4 and 4S for like thinnest phone, and the Galaxy S5 was thinner through most of its body than the 9.3 millimeter thick iPhone 4 and 4S, but then it had a little bit of a bump where it was slightly thicker than that. So technically, that title still then belonged to the iPhone 4 and 4S, and then of course the iPhone 5 just was like ridiculously thin at that point. Dual SH, oh, I thought I missed everything. Well, let me look. This doesn't look like we missed everything. Like, look, these aren't even S25 devices. Excited for S25 Slim especially. The S25 Slim is going to be interesting here because if it's just slightly thinner than the Ultra, and it forgoes, let's say, it doesn't have the exact same like large ultra wide sensor, right? It might have like worse cooling and stuff like that. Technically, by taking out the S Pen from the Galaxy S25 Ultra, would leave you, and then you reposition the components, right, rather than spreading them along the Z-axis, right, so making it thicker. Like what you have to do, because the S Pen just takes an objective amount of space. With the Slim, you could then just reposition them more along the X and Y axis. That gets freed up because you don't have an S Pen, and suddenly you have basically a device very similar to what the Plus models already are, but just thinner. And while Apple's Plus models and Samsung's Plus models usually target different markets, you know what? I'm gonna pause this because I thought we would just hear music, but this is like garbage. Like the sounds are just so completely distracting. It's like if you have something interesting to show, put it in the show. What I was saying is, while Samsung's Plus models and iPhone's Plus models target slightly different markets, usually if you are in the market for a Plus model for Samsung, you're kind of in the market for an Ultra model, but maybe that one is just slightly too big for you. Maybe you just don't want to spend the extra money on an S Pen, right? But usually price-wise, you aren't that far between those two models. On the iPhone, the Plus models, while the MSRP, a $300 difference from $900 for the iPhone 16 Plus to $1,200 on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Plus, you get more storage on the Pro Max. So effectively, it's a $200 price difference. That price difference is not that much larger than it is for Samsung. But I just feel like unless you are really, really dissatisfied with the weight of the Pro Max, which now has gotten better, of course, thanks to the usage of titanium rather than stainless steel, I don't think, and you have the money, I just don't think you will ever get the Plus. I know plenty of people who just don't like the Ultra model on Samsung's side. Like, they're like, oh, I don't need the S Pen, really. Oh, it's very, like, hard-edged. The Plus feels, like, much nicer. And I guess that's why the designs are kind of being aligned here, where the S25, the 25 Plus, and the Ultra will all be very familiar, very similar in that regard. Whether or not that means the Slim will see a very similar design there or something completely new, I couldn't tell you. Everything to me right now suggests that it's basically just a slimmer model of the Plus, but with some compromises to still give you a decent battery. Like, I assume stuff like speaker, microphone quality, haptics, right? All of that stuff might just be a little degraded, but those things don't really show up on the spec sheet the same way like a reduced milliampere hour count for the battery does. So my expectation is that Samsung will just try to hide those shortcomings. Well, in my opinion, I think that Apple will kind of lean into them. They'll be like, oh, you don't need the Pro and Pro Max, right? This is the device for the regular iPhone user, the one who just like needs your phone to be absolutely portable. Now, I still believe the iPhone Air is a terrible idea in the way it's currently being executed. Like the potential of it having only a mono speaker system. A singular camera is not that bad, but then it's like such a huge bump for just one camera. It's just aesthetically not that pleasing. And then, of course, the potential reduction to battery capacity, to cooling. Like, it all's got to give somewhere, right? I agree with some of the compromises Apple is targeting, like making it eSIM only, for example, and most likely getting rid of millimeter wave, which is also just going to be part of the first generation of Apple modems, which they will most likely not support millimeter wave, which I say good riddance. It's only in the United States anyway. It's really just like a Verizon feature almost. So yeah, there's gonna be some interesting stuff here, and I just wish the presentation style was better for Samsung. I just always get annoyed because both Google and Samsung really annoy me in their presentation styles. Google's are extremely random; they just switch from topic to topic, and Samsung is just extremely obnoxious. I feel like they just like I feel like they do a lot of the Appleisms, like the high adjectives and the praise for it, but then like what they show for that, like the video examples for of how people use it and stuff like that, are just then extremely underwhelming, and like they don't have the same production value as what Apple produces usually, unless it's like a full-on ad. But then I don't like full-on ads. I like good demonstrations and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a lot of rambly thoughts. I apologize. I'm gonna slow down a tiny bit and better also look at the chat. So and we're just 2.5 minutes away. So thank you to anyone who's already joined, and thank you to anyone who will be tuning in while we watch. Abdul is saying it's sad that the mid-range Samsung phones won't get the features displayed in the advertisements. It is a little bit like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like with the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus, right? They are based on the A16 chip, right? So they didn't get Apple Intelligence. But I feel like that was like a clean cutoff. And everything after this point, like even like an iPhone SE will get Apple Intelligence. Like the iPad mini got Apple Intelligence thanks to having the A17 Pro chip inside and 8 gigs of RAM and doubling even its storage amount, because God knows at this point Apple Intelligence actually takes up quite a lot of storage too. It's not just a RAM hog, it's also uses like 7 or 8 gigabytes of storage. So I just feel like that Apple Intelligence pushes Apple into like a slightly new territory, right? I mean, 16 gigabytes of memory for the M4 Max. I'm sure that by the time the iPad Pro gets an update, it will also get updated to 16 gigabytes of RAM standard, like a little bit more storage, as we saw with like the iPad mini, which granted was overdue anyway, but rarely does Apple double storage and RAM at the same time. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, like how Samsung treats like the A series of chips. I assume they will still get a lot of AI functionality just because a lot of it is like cloud based anyway. I mean, especially anything that like relies on Google Gemini. But yeah, I don't know about the new Bixby. We'll have to find out today. And let me already go into full mode here.
Using cloud AI, your data is neither shared with others nor used for targeted
Oh,
ads.
wow.
In the end, you should have full control over your privacy and the power to choose your privacy settings. Even in the era of AI, we believe your personal data should stay personal.
But like, what kind of ad is that where just the person at the end looks at the camera? Like, it's like, Jesus Christ, Samsung. Okay, okay, we are getting somewhere. Sole property of Samsung. They're protected by United States federal law. Oh, is that Samsung US specifically, like streaming? That's interesting. I'll refresh if I need to, but it should be all working fine. Guys, should I make my camera a little smaller? Do you think there will be something that interesting in the right corner? Let me know. the actual, like, they're running ASL stream also. What's that? Oh, okay, now it starts. Samsung Unpacked. Watch our ASL stream. Isn't it sign language? Yeah, that's American Sign Language. We don't need that. I'm already covering up part of the screen. It's going to be too much.
Everything's set. Ready? Activating unpacked stage protocols.
Why such an artificial
Good luck.
voice? Like, AI voices have been better than that for like 3-4 years.
Please give a warm welcome to the president and head of mobile experience, TM Rowe.
And the guy who really, really loves Apple designs. Like, it's under his lead that we got stuff like the Galaxy Watch Ultra and the Samsung Buds 3.
The first AI phone powered by Galaxy AI.
What? You said the
Galaxy
same thing about the
opened
S24.
up new ways to create, communicate,
That's the
and get things
S24,
done.
right?
But what lies ahead?
Okay,
is
okay, so you are
even
talking
more
about the S20.
exciting.
I was like, no, you cannot reuse
Today,
branding. Come
We
on.
are setting the standard
Okay, new standard.
for mobile AI innovation once again.
Good for you.
And with the Samsung Galaxy S25, we are making it a reality. Right
Okay,
here.
so the design leaks
Right
have been
now.
completely true, including those fudly rings around the camera that we have seen on the latest Galaxy Fold. That's
To make
unfortunate.
this shift possible, we built an AI OS from the ground up. One UI 7, our most personalized interface, redefines mobile interaction because we integrated AI agents
Jesus Christ.
deep at the system
That's a
level.
lot of AI talk before we even
Together
got
with
basically a
Google,
hello.
We are reimagining Android with AI at the core. The platform will soon welcome developers and partners with a shared vision for an AI ecosystem.
Guys, can you hear him and me
that's
both well?
open,
Is one side too
inclusive,
loud?
and
Let me know. You
limitless.
guys know I kind of get a little paranoid
Our
about
goal
having
is to
decent
provide
audio quality.
Personalized experiences
Riveting Tail Chap, I
by
am not...
integrating
I'm
AI
okay.
agents
I'm very, very
and
tired.
multimodal capabilities
But I am good. Thank
into
you.
every touch point of the interface, regardless.
Okay,
what
so the
agent
AI
or
can
app
actually
you
like
use.
control apps. This is what Apple is promising
Starting
for the
with
iOS
Google
18.4
Gemini.
updates for Siri.
Thanks, TM. Last year was a very productive one for us, with a series of research breakthroughs
Thank you,
that
Riveting Tail
culminated
Chap.
in the
Glad you
release
can
of
hear
our
me.
state-of-the-art Gemini 2.0 foundation models. As we kick off 2025, we'll be continuing that pace of relentless innovation. We believe the next frontier for AI will be agentic systems, systems that are able to accomplish tasks and do useful things for you. At
I mean,
Google
Samsung
DeepMind, we have
promised
long
that like even a
pioneered the
few years
development of
ago
AI
with like
agents,
Bixby
starting
having
over a
full
decade
control
ago
over
with systems
settings
like
and shit like
AlphaGo,
that.
the first program to beat the world champion at the complex game of Go. This area of research has been rapidly accelerating in recent years, and we're excited to begin making these advances available to everyone. Last month, we started to expand our trusted tester program for Project Astra, which is our research prototype.
Okay, that was a
exploring the
boring
future
part of the Google
capabilities of a
presentation.
universal
I
AI
remember
assistant
now.
that will be helpful in your everyday life. And now, we're so excited to be partnering with Samsung to bring some of its groundbreaking capabilities to the Gemini app. I'm delighted to announce that screen sharing and live video streaming is coming first to Android and the Galaxy S25 series. This means, in the coming months, you'll be able to ask Gemini to reason about the things you see, whether it's on your phone or the world around you.
Okay, this is entirely like cloud-based. Nothing of this should be done on device.
You might want to consider sizing down to a 36 for a
Oh
slightly more
Jesus,
fitted
this
look.
is I
Your
would
dough looks
never
smooth and
trust
elastic,
AI with
which is a
shit
good
like
sign.
that.
To be extra sure, try the window pane test. Take a small piece of dough and gently stretch it out. If you can stretch it thin enough to see light through it without tearing, it's ready to go.
Our partnership with Samsung will help shape the future of AI through new form factors like glasses or headsets.
All of
to
these
more agentic
examples are so
capabilities like the
weird. Like I
ability
will
to
never
take action on
ask
your behalf.
AI for any of
As our
that.
research advances, incredible new
Like part of
experiences will
having
become
YouTube
possible.
and everything
Stay
like that
tuned
was
for
that
much
you
more to come
can have
with
actual
Android
people
and
help you
Samsung
with
in the
that.
months ahead. Thanks and enjoy Galaxy Unpacked.
Yeah.
TM,
Yeah, it's
back
not
to you.
just unreliable, it's also unnecessary in the world where we already have so much information, so much stuff written down
Thank you,
by
Dennis.
actual experts and just like
Samsung
enthusiasts.
is excited to build the next frontier for AI with Google.
Oh my god, you still like the priority is
Galaxy
not the phone, I
S25
guess.
introduces the most intuitive, the most natural, the most personalized.
I've seen how One
Galaxy
UI 7
experiences
looks. None of
ever.
that is going to be true, but
It
okay.
understands not only your commands,
Oh, that's just
but
for the
also
AI?
your
You're still
intentions.
not talking about anything.
Now, you can talk to Galaxy S25 as if you're talking to a friend.
Yeah, thanks, no.
You can initiate multiple actions with a single press of a button.
Okay.
And it not only understands you,
I mean,
but
shortcuts
also
exist,
anticipate
but I
the
guess
next
now it
few
can sort of
steps
do them on the
as
go,
your
on the
very
fly.
own AI companion. To build cutting-edge AI experiences, we've focused on one thing
Performance.
above all.
Oh, good. Good.
That's
I mean, that's not bad.
privacy.
Oh, bless
As
me, I
AI
guess. Sorry,
becomes
guys.
more powerful, it must also become more personal. To deliver class-leading personalization, we are introducing the Personal Data Engine.
Okay. Private
Now,
enclave.
you can enjoy tailored experiences while keeping your personal
I thought that was a
information
duck, but that's a
secure
running
on
woman.
your device, not in the cloud. Personal Data Engine enables personalized AI services that is protected by Samsung Knox Vault. These experiences are
Did he
only
expect to get
possible
applause for that?
thanks to incredible
Like,
feat
you've been
of
talking about the
software
same Knox
and
benefits for
hardware engineering.
years.
Today, we are introducing a customized chipset for Galaxy with our most powerful MPU for
Personalized? You mean a slightly overclocked 8 Elite?
experiences.
Is that what you mean by personalized?
This customized chipset also advances Galaxy's class-leading photography
Is that
and
like a
editing.
surprise Exynos launch?
With our next-gen Pro Visual engine and high-resolution lenses across the entire S25 series, Galaxy pioneers the AI camera experience to a whole new level.
Okay. Which chip?
Everything you see here today marks the beginning of a new reality. A fundamental
Okay,
shift,
this will be
not
super
just
hard
in the
to market to
technology we
people.
use, but in the
Like,
lives
no
we
one
live
will care.
and the things we do.
Okay, this looks like a
Things
photo
you
Pixels
thought
have been
you
able
could
to take for
never
5
do.
years.
But now you can.
What?
Life opens up with Galaxy.
AI. Like, you couldn't like, I think he was so sick of saying AI at this point that even though it was clearly written as like life opens up with Galaxy AI, he said just Galaxy. Okay, like a photo summary tool, like what's going on now? What's going on?
Move my next schedule to tomorrow noon and send it to Jen.
Jesus, I do shit like that in like 30 seconds myself, and then I don't have to rely on AI potentially sending weird shit to my colleagues.
Over the past year, Galaxy AI redefined how we interact with technology, providing convenient experiences that help us every day.
Jesus, are we gonna talk about the actual phone?
Photo Assist, we've unlocked new realms of creativity.
Guys, am I going crazy? Is that interesting to you? Is that riveting to you?
And explore the world. And millions more have used Galaxy AI to
like you cannot compare that to how Apple introduced Apple Intelligence. You can say anything you want about whether or not Apple Intelligence might be disappointing in some ways, but like really, you're gonna like you just spoke for 10 minutes without saying anything.
And these translations occur
that's
on
the
device
first
to maintain
good
the level of
information.
security you know and trust. That level
it's
of
not
convenience
riveting to the
extends
riveting tail
beyond
chap. Good to
communication.
know.
Now, if you're on a call and have to take notes, Galaxy AI will help you easily create a full transcript and
I thought you
summary
could already
of your
take
conversation.
transcripts.
And this happens directly from the call screen, so you don't have to switch out.
Didn't Google do that like 2 years ago or something like that? I thought that was already part of Galaxy AI.
Today, with the Galaxy S25 series, we're ushering in the future of Galaxy AI.
Also, are you really a call
where your
center? Do you
routines
need
are
to record
uninterrupted
your
and
calls?
elevated, and where communication, discovery, and productivity feel effortless and natural. Here's a preview.
Okay. I mean, we're still not talking about the actual phone. Like, why not talk about it with the phone, right? You show off the phone, how it looks. You show the design of how Galaxy AI looks on the screen. You talk about all-day battery life, and you show like how AI helps you optimize for stuff like that. You talk about like the new ultra-wide camera and how AI optimizes for it. I mean, literally all of that can be just a widget. Like Apple has had like none of this is like big AI stuff.
Galaxy AI works for you.
It's like regular calendar
and
stuff
and
reminders and shit like that.
Like many of you, I reach for my phone shortly after I wake up. And my Galaxy S25 greets me with a personalized overview of my day, where I can see
very
all
ugly
the information
one.
I need in one place. We call it the Now Brief, because it proactively shares information tailored to me when it matters most. Like when I need to leave for my next meeting.
That
S25
works
shares relevant
already.
updates
You
right
don't
on the
need
lock
AI
screen.
for any of that.
No more unlocking the screen or digging through apps.
That
And it is all
has not
meetings
been
and business.
necessary for years.
I'm a big soccer fan, but I don't always have time to watch an entire game. With Now Bar, I can catch updates on scores, highlights, and more for teams I follow on
Live
Google,
activities,
right from
okay.
my lock screen, so I
And
don't
I
miss
mean,
a
all
thing.
of this could just be notifications of apps you
delivers
follow.
real-time
Why
updates,
rely on
keeping me informed
why
throughout the
rely on
day
AI in such a small interface?
Now, you might be wondering, how does Galaxy AI anticipate what I need and when I
With
need it?
AI, with intelligence.
Meet Personal Data Engine.
Okay, yeah, that is what Apple
The
is
Personal
targeting
Data Engine
with
organizes
like the next
information
series.
into a knowledge graph tailored to you by understanding your context, preferences, and routines.
By the way, I'm gonna be
give you a
disabling
deeper
this kind of
understanding of
shit
the personal data engine,
with features coming
let's hear
to
from one of the
Europe in Apple
pioneers in the
Intelligence.
field,
Like, I am
Ian
fine
Horrocks.
with some AI stuff, but
Hi,
I don't
everyone.
want this constant
It's an honor and a
aggregation of
pleasure
my
for
own
me to speak
data,
to you today.
not even just for
What
privacy
Samsung is able
reasons,
to accomplish
but just
with their
because I
personal
don't
data
want, like,
engine is unlike
I don't
any
want
other
it. I don't need
technological
it.
innovation on the market right now.
I don't need
At
it
Oxford's
to
Matic
consume extra
Technologies,
battery life,
we've been
nothing.
developing the technology behind the personal data engine, known as knowledge graph technology.
Guys, I really need
Knowledge
your
graphs
opinions.
provide
I
a
don't want to
natural
be
and
like a
powerful way to
naysayer because
combine
I feel like I
complex
end
data
up
and
hating
background
every
information,
Google and Samsung
similar to the
event,
way human
but you
memory
cannot
and
tell me
reasoning
that
works.
this is like an interesting
I like to call
presentation
this
style, right?
knowledge-based AI. Using knowledge graphs allows computers to better understand information and thereby draw more accurate conclusions and deliver
Because
more
you
accurate
can be talking
insights.
about this. This
This can
isn't
have a
that
huge positive
uninteresting.
impact on the
But you're
usefulness
like
of our
literally we are
smartphones
a
and other
quarter of an hour
devices.
in,
Until
and
recently,
you mentioned one
smartphone
hardware
services
part
and
about your device,
applications
which
have
is a
operated
personalized
independently of
chip
one
with a
another,
fast
limiting their
NPU.
ability to provide insightful responses.
Yeah,
personal
okay.
data engine
Some are
allows
feeling
us
the
to
exact same
overcome
way.
this
That's good to
limitation
know.
by understanding a user's experience.
I
along with
really
the
should have
surrounding
mixed myself a
context,
cocktail, but
and
I
storing it in
ate
the
so
user's
little
personal
today,
knowledge graph.
I probably would have
As a
fallen
leading
into a
global
coma if I
brand with a
just got drunk.
comprehensive
So,
ecosystem of
water it is.
smartphones and peripherals, Samsung is uniquely positioned to provide a holistic and deeply personalized experience, not only across multiple apps, but also across a wide range of different devices.
AI is boring now. I want specs of the phone that I'm going to be using and interacting with. And you can talk about AI while you present those specs. You can say, oh, it's extra fast because of the NPU, but it's also like extremely efficient because the chip is on the 3nm node and stuff like that.
With data from multiple applications. This level of integration is revolutionary. It will change the way users interact with their devices for an experience
I wonder
that
if this is
enhanced
exclusive
overall
now,
and
because they are
importantly,
making a
is more
big deal out of
personal.
running stuff on
We're
device.
excited about the possibilities
Does that
the
mean that
partnership
it's
between
really not
Samsung
coming to the
and Oxford's
S24
Magic
series?
Technologies brings, and we look forward to exploring new avenues together. Thank you, and back to you, Drew.
Thank you, Ian.
I'm
Our
not
goal
Drew.
is to deliver personalized AI suggestions tailored to your unique lifestyle, while ensuring your data remains private.
Fizz, hi, I'm back. It's been so long. What is this about? Well, apparently it's all about AI, since I have still not really gotten any details about the actual phones. We are talking first apparently about One UI rather than the phone.
So that features, services, and interactions across apps speak the same language, delivering a more fluid
And yeah, welcome,
personalized
Fizz. Haven't seen you in a
experience
while.
across
I
multiple
mean, you were an
contexts.
absolute OG,
For
so
instance,
you're always
AI
welcome
Select
here.
conveniently recommends AI features based on what's on your screen. If you're looking at text, Generative Writing Assist provides a full menu of AI writing tools. You can choose to summarize. Check
Why
for
does this
spelling or
look so
grammar, or
similar
edit the tone.
to Apple
It'll even
Intelligence?
propose
That's not
formatting
even a
options,
good
asking if
design.
you'd like to bulletize a
No,
list or
that was
turn it
one
to
of
an
the
easy-to-read
cheaper
table,
designs of Apple Intelligence.
instantly
Why did you
converting the
copy
message into the
this?
format that you choose. For
Holy
images,
bread, Samsung's
One
out
UI
of
7
touch. Even
provides
tech
AI-based
influencers are sick
visual
of AI,
experiences
and
to help
nobody
you
wants to
create
even
and
hear
edit.
about it since it's overhyped.
if
The
you're
only
looking
thing
at a
that's
photo
improved
that a
about it
friend
since
sent,
2018 is
Drawing
voice
Assist will
synthesizing.
suggest edits,
Well,
or
holy bread, there are
generate
more
images
stuff
for you to
than
send
that,
back
but like I
directly
don't
from your
care about
screen
this.
without
I never
having to open
use
any
Image
additional
Playground
apps.
and stuff like that on my Mac.
With One
I
UI
cannot use
7
it on
and
my
Galaxy
iPhone because of
S25,
Europe.
you can
But
even
like,
talk
yeah,
to your
it's like
phone like you would in
stuff
a
has gotten
conversation.
better with AI,
Whether
but
it's
it's
navigating
not
on-screen
worth
content or
replacing talking
fine-tuning your
about
settings.
everything else, right?
I'm sure you've all experienced moments when your eyes are feeling extra tired from looking at your screen. Now you can tell your Galaxy S25 if your eyes are getting tired.
Why?
And it'll offer to turn on the blue light filter, helping to ease the strain and make you more comfortable.
Why? Do you
Your
not
voice
know
now
it
even
after
opens
like
new
a
doors
decade of
to
having a feature like
search,
that?
removing multiple in-depth steps. Let's take a look.
Circle to search is legit great. I wish Circle to search existed on the iPhone. That's a criticism to Apple I will gladly integrate into this.
Find the photo of Max enjoying spa day in a bathrobe and cucumber.
That's already something Apple Intelligence does in English. I'm really looking forward to that coming to more languages. The more advanced photo search is really, really cool. And if Samsung does what they promise and say that they have like 20 languages that run on device, that's really, really cool.
Ready for another spa tonight?
I mean, did it find the okay, it found the photo. It took everything so long.
As you've just seen, you can now simply talk to your Galaxy S25 like you would to another person.
You can talk about it
tasks
to it
that once
obnoxiously
required
loud
multiple
in
steps.
public, apparently.
For example, if I ask my Galaxy S25 to find a photo of Max from last winter in a red coat eating cake, our large language model breaks down the question to the time period, main subject,
Yeah,
and details.
that's how it works.
For
We
this
know by
specific
now.
Photo, my gallery app will narrow down to the search to last winter, then look for photos of Max within that time period. Then, using our vision language model, it'll pull up the most relevant photos that satisfy in a red coat.
That's not a feature new for
All of this
either
is done
Apple
on
Intelligence
device,
nor
which
Google
means you'll be able to
Gemini.
conduct complex searches even when you're offline.
All of these presentations in the past years have been like, yeah, yada, yada, show us the phone already. Yeah, absolutely. Like that style of presentation where you talk half an hour about the AI. Like One UI 7 here is not bad, but you can already see some elements that are basically blatantly copied from Apple, even to a small degree, even the icons. But then you also like refer back to old features every single time. Like I've already praised Circle to Search, but I cannot praise it in every single presentation ever now in perpetuity from Samsung and Google.
Circle to Search can now automatically identify if there's a phone number, email address, or URL, even as part of an image. And understand.
Yeah, I mean, OCR and stuff like that has worked for a while. But it's good that it's right there. I don't need to take a screenshot and then analyze it in the Photos app.
You can simply bring up Circle to Search to find the song without needing to open a separate music app.
What? You
Circle
find?
to Search is always improving.
Just
people find the information they're looking for.
Okay, so it's basically like Shazam is integrated into this specific interface.
It delivers quick and helpful search results using generative AI, making it easier to explore memes, art, and gadgets with a single gesture. Galaxy AI is like having a personal companion always ready to respond to your needs. We're building an AI platform that'll integrate across apps, allowing users to enjoy a seamless experience simply by talking to their device. Today, that journey begins with Google Gemini, which takes conversational intelligence even further.
Okay. How? I mean, by the way, please talk about the actual phone. That's a very hard-edged phone. I imagined it being more rounded. I don't know why I did. And yeah, this is Google Gemini. What did they call this feature? It's already on other apps, and OpenAI does it better with ChatGPT anyway.
Hello. Thank you, Samsung, for having me and for our long-standing partnership. We've innovated together for years to
By the way,
revolutionize
remember
mobile
how much
computing
slack
and
Apple
create
got for
devices and
talking about
technologies that
integrating
people love.
ChatGPT?
Today,
Why is Samsung
about
okay
how
to
we're
be
pushing the
constantly
boundaries
relying on
in
Google
mobile
Gemini?
AI.
It's not a Pixel
Last
phone.
year, we unveiled Gemini, our powerful
All
AI
the features
assistant,
that always come
captivating
maybe a little
billions
bit
of Android
first to
users by
Samsung because
placing
of
it
Google
at the
Gemini
core of the
Corporation,
mobile
they end up on every other
We're
Android phone
making
a
it
few months
even more
later.
accessible on Galaxy devices.
Okay, the Shazam thing is good.
Simply
Yeah, but it's
long
just
press
an
the side
interface
button,
thing. I mean,
and
you
Gemini
can
will be
integrate
right there to
Shazam, I
assist
believe,
you
even into
or
like the
respond to
control
what's on
center
your
and stuff like
screen.
that. Though it's not Shazam.
Having Gemini
Shazam is
just a
owned by
button
Apple.
press away is a total game changer.
Really?
We're constantly making
Shazam
Gemini a
cannot
more
recognize some
helpful
songs
mobile
for you? I
assistant.
never had that issue.
It can already
Maybe
think things
Google's
through for
newer
you
algorithm
to
is
inform
better, but
actions
usually
across
Shazam
apps,
finds everything.
from YouTube
If it's like a
and Google
real
Maps
song,
to
at least.
Gmail and Spotify.
You know, like something professionally
And
produced.
starting today, Gemini can also connect across Samsung apps, including Samsung Calendar, Notes, Reminder, and Clock.
So which part is...
So you can
So
ask
there is
Gemini
no
about your
revival
favorite
to
team's
Bixby,
upcoming
right?
schedule,
Which some
put it
people
in
have
your calendar,
speculated.
or set a reminder
This
to
is
buy
basically just a
tickets, all
Samsung-specific
with a single
integration of
command.
Google Gemini?
Now, it's the start of the new
Which
year,
my
and
question
I'm
would
trying to
be,
eat healthier.
why?
I can just ask Gemini, can you find some high-protein vegetarian snack
Okay,
ideas
so it integrates
and add them to
specifically
my
with
notes?
Samsung apps, which this
Gemini
has to
not
be an
only searches
API
for
accessible to
high-protein
other
snacks that are
Android vendors,
vegetarian,
right?
but
What
it'll
that would be a
also take
really
action
shitty
on my
move.
behalf and create a note in Samsung
Google
Notes.
can recognize humming and covers. Oh
I'll
yeah,
have those healthy
that. I
snack
never
ideas
do
right
that
at my
because I'm
fingertips
terrible at
when I'm at the grocery store.
redoing music anyway.
But
But
maybe
yeah, I
you're looking for
understand what
more
you mean.
in-depth help. For those moments when you want an assistant to help you ideate and work things out, Gemini Live lets you have natural, free-flowing conversations with your AI assistant. Because Gemini Live works seamlessly on Samsung devices, it's easy to transition from what I'm looking at on my phone.
I feel like it's such a
starting
weird look
conversation
to
about it.
talk about this as
And
like a
now I can have live
Samsung-specific thing,
conversations about all
when
sorts
as
of things.
Google, you
From a
really
picture
would
I
want
have on
this
my
to be on
phone
every
to a
Android
YouTube
phone
video
ever.
I want to talk about, or even a PDF. This awesome new capability, combining Gemini Live and multimodal context, is coming first to Android and the Galaxy S25
Okay,
series.
it's coming first. It's not going to be
Now,
exclusive.
this is really helpful for when I want to learn about something.
But
like
my
how
question
to
is,
be a
why
better
to the
photographer.
S25?
Here's a recent photo that I took. Let me
Like, what
ask
if you
Gemini for some
purchase
help.
a Galaxy AI subscription now that it's about to
a
run
Labrador
out after
Retriever.
the first
Are you
year
looking for some
on the
information on this
S24
breed,
series?
or do you need help with something else?
I'd like to improve my photography.
Oh, Jesus
How's my
Christ.
composition?
It's a good start. I like how the dog is the clear focal point, but right now, the dog is centered in the frame, which can be a bit boring. Try moving a little off-center to create a more dynamic composition.
Oh my God, it's like the most cliche
great.
thing you will ever hear.
Is the lighting
Like,
a little
have you
muted? How
tried
can I make this
taking
more
it a
vibrant?
little bit out of the center?
Yes, it does seem a little muted. For a more vibrant look, try shooting on a sunny day. If you can't wait for better weather, you can try editing the photo afterwards. Increasing the contrast and saturation can make a big difference.
I should really be
Never
drinking
really
harder
understood
stuff
contrast.
today.
How's mine? Can I make it better?
Contrast is basically the difference between the lightest and darkest areas of your photo. If the difference is small, the picture looks flat. If it's too
Gemini
big,
is such a
it can
bad
look
AI
harsh.
model too. I think
It's
it's
a bit low
gotten
in the
better,
speed,
but
but you
yeah,
can
I'm not
increase it during
sure how
editing to
good
make
it
the
will
colors
be at
pop more.
actually now talking
Thanks,
to new
Gemini.
apps
That
and
was really great.
controlling the
Now,
OS
we
by
want
itself.
S25 users to experience the
Yeah,
best of
ChatGPT
Gemini.
in general is
So
better.
all
That's at least
devices
my
will come with
experience.
6 months of Gemini Advanced
6 months?
and 2 terabytes of cloud storage at no extra cost.
Not even a year?
Gemini Advanced comes with our most capable AI models and priority
Are you
access to the
kidding me?
newest features. It'll also include screen sharing.
They now
and
want you
live
to go
video
from like the
viewing in
Galaxy
future, as
S25
Demis announced.
to buying the Galaxy Z7.
Gemini has become an incredible
And then the
assistant to help you get
S26
things
and then
done
the Galaxy
and get things
Z8.
done for
Like they
you. Together with Samsung, we're redefining this new era of mobile computing.
You're talking
can't
so
wait to
much
see what you
shit, but
do
it's
with
like 6 months? Really? And now I'm not even sure how much runs on device. They talk so much about how much happens on device, but they didn't specify which features. I mean, all the internet search stuff definitely doesn't. I don't even want to know how much RAM
Gemini
potentially
Live
like that
on
multimodal
Galaxy
shit
S25
uses up.
offers a glimpse into the future of AI agents that understand what you see and what you say. Multimodal AI will transform how we interact with all
Multimodal
our
has been
devices,
the core
with
of AI
smartphones and
presentations for
wearables,
basically the
to
entirety
new
of
form
last
factors
year,
like
with
multifold
ChatGPT
and XR
talking about
devices.
it, Microsoft talking
As we
about
announced with
it,
Google
Google
in
talking
December,
about it.
We're co-developing the Android XR
You couldn't
ecosystem,
couldn't
working
introduce
hand in
Android
hand to
XR
define the
without
operating
talking about
system,
multimodal
user
AI
interface,
first.
and
Why?
hardware. These upcoming XR devices with multimodal AI will change how we interact with the physical
Jesus
and virtual
Christ.
world.
Gemini Other
Interactions
X like
will be
Siri
more
cannot
natural
do
and
that.
intuitive, and we can't wait to share
Yeah,
more
and
details
political stuff.
later
I
this year.
think Google has improved
As
that a
TM
little bit.
highlighted,
Like
our
at
goal
first, of
is to
course, they
enable
had to turn off a
personalized
lot
AI
of political
by
shit because they
integrating
really
AI
messed up
agents
some stuff.
and
But
multimodal
yeah,
capabilities
I would
on
trust
all our
ChatGPT
devices.
more in general. But
For this,
overall,
we'll
I don't
continue to
use
embrace
AI
the
search
philosophy
engines
of
that much
open
anyway.
collaboration. We believe that this approach leads to better user experiences and will grow the AI
I agree.
ecosystem
I mean, I
with
think AI
developers
should
and
be
partners.
not fully open source, like
With
for
Galaxy
absolutely
AI,
everything,
we're
but a lot of the
committed to
base
providing
understandings.
New AI experiences with apps, core interfaces, and AI agents across our devices.
Okay.
This is just the beginning, and we're excited to bring our vision to the Galaxy S25. We understand
You're
that
talking
many
about the
people worry about
S25, but then you
privacy and
literally have
security,
products there that
and
aren't the
we take these
S25.
matters seriously. Our on-device AI processes your data locally with the personal data engine. And
Is
which
it a specific
protected by
chip, or is it
Samsung
just like
Vault,
a part
a
of the
dedicated
8
security
Elite they're
processor
utilizing?
and dedicated memory chip work to safeguard
Okay,
your data.
dedicated but then again, you do have
Cloud
memory
AI
controllers
will access
on
your
the 8
data
Elite.
only when it's necessary. And your data is deleted shortly after your request is completed.
Shortly is a great
This
term.
means you don't have to worry about your information being used to train AI models or for advertising.
Well, I actually wouldn't mind if
secure
it
and
trained
hybrid
AI
AI
models for
approach
them to be
keeps your
better,
data
but
private and
give me an
secure
opt-in and
while
opt-out.
delivering a cutting-edge personalized
For
AI
advertisement, yeah,
experience.
definitely not.
Additionally, we believe it's important to support responsible use of AI. People should know when content is AI generated and intellectual property should be protected. That's why we're implementing C2PA standards with the Galaxy S25 series.
That's for authentic,
Like
identifying
will
it,
be added to
right?
AI-generated work, and its origins are captured in metadata.
Yeah.
This means you will know when something has been created by AI. It's all our effort to promote a more transparent AI world. To deliver the most advanced AI capabilities on the Galaxy S25, we've also focused on the fundamentals to redefine performance. Let's take a look.
At the Snapdragon 8 Elite, or a brand new Exynos chip, or something that's remotely hardware adjacent. Okay, that's a very hard edge device. I really thought it would be more rounded. I don't know why. I assume they're gonna talk about stuff like the, Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy. It's a slightly overclocked chip. It's not a new one. Cooling? Yeah, cooling. How much better? Realizing looks like Samsung has a version 2 of Snapdragon Elite. I doubt it. It's just a higher clock version. They had the same thing for the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. What would have changed since the introduction of the 8 Elite before? It's still N3E. It's not gonna have any new packaging technologies. It's not gonna use faster RAM than 10700.
Our most advanced performance ever on the Galaxy S25 series. We teamed up with Qualcomm Technologies on the Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy, a customized AP engineered to unleash unparalleled mobile performance. This groundbreaking 3-nanometer AP, our first ever for Galaxy smartphones.
That's a big shame, given how long you've had 3-nanometer cooking for
setting
Exynos.
a new standard for speed and efficiency. This is the engine behind Galaxy AI.
Oh my God.
Powered by a 40%
Okay, that's what they call it. Yeah,
NPU,
it's just a
runs
it's just a
directly on
custom
device,
package.
minimizing reliance on cloud processing for faster and more seamless AI experiences. And with remarkable CPU and GPU, this integrated powerhouse ensures quicker load times, faster app execution
Then what?
speeds, and smoother graphic
Yeah, that's
rendering
bullshit.
for an optimized
There is
gaming
nothing in the 8 Elite that's 5 times
But of
faster
course,
than the 8 Gen 3.
sometimes we have to hit pause on gaming and shift gears to respond to a message or complete a task. Galaxy S25's incredible performance supports you through it all.
Okay.
Keeping things
More memory, right?
even when you're multitasking.
No more
across
8
apps.
GB configurations. That's what.
Galaxy S25's display takes that fluidity even further, with ProScaler leveraging AI-based algorithmic processing to reduce noise and enhance every image and video on screen.
What? That stuff
Now,
has been
even
solved
in
on
HD
these.
or FHD Plus modes, you'll be able to enjoy high-definition content
What?
with sharp, lifelike details.
That's, oh my God, that's an object.
ProScaler
Like, that's not how.
intelligently boosts image quality by up to 40% compared to
That
the
wasn't
previous
40%. That was like 4 times more pixels
All
that you
three
just showed.
Galaxy S25 models, Base, Plus, and Ultra, support up to 120 hertz refresh rate.
Okay.
So you'll see smooth motion
Okay.
on whichever device
I mean,
is
that
right
has
for
been
you.
true for years now on your phones?
The Galaxy S25 series is engineered to deliver hyper-realistic, ultra-smooth gameplay.
Ray tracing.
Powered by Vulkan optimizations.
Okay.
It minimizes CPU and GPU load, improving the FPS by up to 18% for consistent, smooth performance.
Wait, 18% versus
even
the 8
during
Gen
intense
3?
sessions.
That's
Thanks to
really
the
small. Oh my God, they
powerful
don't have the
Ray
cooling.
tracing performance has been elevated by 40%.
They don't have the cooling to
This
bump it up by
enhancement
like
yields
30%
stunning
like other
lifelike
phones
visuals
do.
through advanced effects like realistic lighting, shadows, and reflections. setting a
18%
new
is really
standard
low
for
for
mobile
an
gaming.
FPS uplift.
We're also
like
continuing
from
to
the 8
collaborate
Gen 3
with
to the
top
8
gaming
Elite.
companies and studios to further enhance your gaming adventures. And while you're locked into your game, Galaxy S25 will maintain peak performance.
Show me a
with
good
newly
game.
Incorporated next-gen heat dissipation architecture.
In a slimmer phone?
This unique structure efficiently manages heat generated inside the device to ensure smoother and more
I mean, that's
enjoyable
not too
gameplay,
different from before.
streaming, and multitasking. At its core, the vapor chamber is now 40% larger than the previous model.
Okay, that's not
spreading
bad.
heat faster and more efficiently. Paired with a new custom-designed thermal interface material.
But granted, the 8 Gen 3 also
Galaxy
promised to have
S25
been paired
takes
to
heat
with a
management
much.
to the next level.
Her voice is really grating on my
tin
head.
perfectly fits the gaps between
I
the
understand she's probably
preventing
nervous,
any
but
heat loss
it's like her
and
voice is
enabling
breaking.
faster and more effective heat
That mic is just not tuned to her voice. It's not her
a
fault.
device that stays cool under pressure.
Like, look, if that mic should be basically like mine. It should be right there.
Taps out before you
It's
do.
a little too far away from her
That's why
mouth.
with the Galaxy S25 series, we've achieved our longest battery life yet through meticulous hardware and software optimization. And along with the mobile digital natural image engine display tech
What?
to improve power
The
efficiency.
mobile digital
That
what?
means more time to watch videos, play games, and multitask without reaching for your charger.
Okay, now I understand why the
proud to
Ultra
say that
has a
we've
little
packed
bit more
all
internal
this
space
powerful
despite being
performance
thinner.
into a slimmer, sleeker form factor without compromising on durability.
It's very
And while we improved
very
durability for the
sharp-edged.
previous Galaxy S series, we've raised that standard even further. For the first time, Galaxy S25 Ultra is designed with a glass ceramic cover material.
Okay, ceramic
Gorilla
shield.
Armor 2 adds a layer of toughness, not only delivering superior optical performance, but also making the Galaxy S25 Ultra more durable than ever.
Okay.
With power and performance taken to new heights, the Galaxy
Same battery.
S25 series
Yeah,
delivers
I mean,
unparalleled
that's okay if the phone is thinner
to
to have
make
the same
people's
battery
lives easier.
capacity, but
This concept
I hate
is at
the
the
rings
heart
here.
of Galaxy's identity, and it's integral to the way we design. To tell you more,
it's interesting.
here's
They don't
Hubert.
talk about the specifics, right? They mentioned like 18%
What makes
FPS
design
uplift,
truly
which is
exceptional
really underwhelming
at
given how
Galaxy,
much faster
it's about
the 8
more
Elite
than how
can be
something
and the
looks.
40%
It's about
larger
seamless
vapor
integration
chamber.
into our life. Essential design. This is our design principle. A principle based on intention and purpose.
And
It has
iPhone
3
12
core
design
elements:
language.
Simple, emotive, and impactful.
Oh my god, this is so
Simple
pretentious.
represents the purity of form. Galaxy S25 Ultra has rounded corners, which create a holistic similarity between profile and form of the S25 and the S25 Plus.
Oh, come on, you cannot be
Galaxy
taking
S25
that
Ultra's
seriously.
design is more compact, slimmer,
Like,
and lighter.
your other phones have
But
had
its
rounded
display is
corners for
actually bigger,
years.
thanks
Those
to the
be-
super
oh,
slim
okay, those
bezel
bezels got
from
thinner,
its
thank God.
ultra-slim engineering. Emotive is about evoking attraction through every detail.
Attraction?
The Galaxy S25 series comes in luminous shades of blue, inspired by the
That's
brilliance
blue?
of AI.
Guys,
We
have I gone
selected pure
completely
titanium for the
colorblind? Do you
S25
see much
Ultra
blue
for
there?
its strength and sophistication, while the S25
Oh,
and the
that's
S25
blue.
Plus feature armor aluminum too. These materials enhance durability while maintaining the sleek modern look that defines the S series.
I mean, this looks exactly like
Impactful.
just like an iPhone
Ensures
12.
our designs leave a long-lasting impression.
Except for
They're
like the different
recognizable
camera
and
bumps, I
iconic,
guess.
making each product unmistakably Galaxy.
Yeah,
A bold
totally.
linear camera is Galaxy's identity.
What?
We have created a floating camera design. It's elevated, visually enhanced to embody the camera's powerful
Everyone
performance.
agrees this looks worse than they had
Let's
before.
take a closer look.
It just looks like wasted space to have just so much metal around it. Okay, that's the main camera. Let's see, like the biggest upgrade here is going to be the ultra wide, going 50 megapixel and on a larger sensor. The rest should be basically identical. I'm out of it. Routing tail chip, you're saying exactly, and since I don't know because of the chat delay to which part you're responding, I just assume you're agreeing with absolutely everything that I am saying.
So far,
Angelica, one of our MarkTech Pro Max supporters, thank you so much for joining the chat, saying it's interesting and exciting. I hope I am, not as much the presentation.
The Galaxy S series has always delivered.
This looks like Touch ID. Touch ID. Touch ID is coming back.
Mobile camera experiences available, and we're raising the bar once again. Our next generation ProVisual engine provides a comprehensive suite of AI tools that help you capture and edit easily to create photos that are more dynamic and picture perfect. And
Pictures are picture
because
perfect.
not
Good
a
to know.
day goes by without me reaching for my camera. And of course, the best snaps are portraits of my favorite people.
Okay.
With the Galaxy S25 series, these photos
No
come
love
to
for
life
like
with more
landscape shooters
depth
here.
than ever before.
Riveting. Hey, I at least like the colors. I like the blue, the main blue, not the S Ultra blue.
With greater precision. And now, it also recognizes the lighting in your environment and adjusts skin tones to appear more natural.
I hope that's
and true to
true
life.
because I've been really disappointed by the
Every
results of
detail
like
tells a
the Pixel
story,
devices
and the Galaxy
recently,
S25
like
series
which I
helps
think
you
have just
capture
not
them all.
adjusted for different skin tones as much as they should have.
We're excited to provide you with more depth and control in your photos. With virtual aperture,
I cannot wait for the
uses
S25
advanced
Ultra to win the
software to
camera
deliver an
comparisons
experience once
with the
exclusive
iPhone
to
16 Pro
professional
Max
cameras.
in Mr. Who's the
one
Boss's
simple
test,
movement, you
just so he can
widen the
keep up.
aperture to
Oh
add
my God, it's
dimension.
the exact same
Or narrow
interface.
the aperture to capture the foreground and background in sharp detail.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Creating a powerful photo that brings everything
That's
together.
not a lot of detail,
And
honestly, in
if
his
you like to
face.
create a certain mood, the Galaxy S25 series features stunning filters developed using
Nope,
deep learning
don't care.
from film camera
Oh my God,
photography.
deep learning.
Galaxy S25 even lets you create your own custom look, inspired by any photo you love.
What?
Advanced AI in the Galaxy S25.
Okay, so this is a
recognizes the
very
color
cheap
tone,
attempt
saturation,
to
and
reproduce what
brightness
Apple
in the
does
selected
with
photo, then creates a
photographic styles,
personal
especially the
filter
more
for you to
advanced one on
use.
the iPhone 16
From
series.
there, you can
This is
fine-tune the
a
look of your
cheap
photo
filter in
by adjusting
comparison.
contrast, saturation,
Like there's
and
no
more
like
until it
photographic
matches your
know-how
creative vision.
behind this.
Of course,
Like you are
getting
better
that
off
perfect
just
shot
going to
is
Instagram
all
here.
about timing, especially when it comes to group photos.
Oh, does it
With
have the Google
Galaxy
Pixel feature?
S25,
Best face,
AI
nice,
can
nice. No,
analyze
that's I
each frame
compliment
of
this.
motion
This
photos
is not
to
bad.
identify and recommend everyone's best look. So, if someone blinked, you can pick a face where their eyes are open. Now everyone's got
I
their
don't know
best
why
shot.
it looks kind of artificial. Is it not perfectly aligned a little bit, or is it just like my
Sometimes
impression?
the excitement begins as the sun sets. With the upgraded AP, we're bringing unrivaled nightography to videos.
Yeah, that's not true.
When filming a video, Galaxy S25 can now precisely detect
You've been
moving
saying this for
and
literally
stationary
years, and the
subjects,
iPhone has been
and
ahead
apply
of
the
you in
best noise
videography for
reduction
like 2
for each,
years.
capturing clear video even in low light.
It doesn't look
We're
like the light was
redefining
even
what's
that bad in the
possible with camera technology,
ultra wide,
offering
50
powerful hardware
megapixel.
upgrades to provide
Five.
high resolution
Okay, yeah, so
across
it's the,
all ranges.
except for this one, it's
For
the
the first
same.
time, we're offering a 50 megapixel high resolution.
This is going to be the
ultra-wide
one camera where it just definitively beats the
Combined with
iPhone's
Galaxy
ultra wide
S25's
camera.
ProVisual engine, you have all you need to take great macro photos and ultra wide shots.
How large is the
To
sensor?
tell us about
Is it
his
actually an
experience with the
f1.5?
Galaxy S25, please welcome the award-winning documentary filmmaker and the director behind Netflix's Breaking Boundaries, Jonathan Clay.
I don't mind like experts talking, but I feel like in an event like this, I just feel like the balance is not there where you can avoid time, where you can afford to give time to more people.
Documentary filmmaker. This film is about our deep connection to the ocean, something that very often we forget, just how connected we are.
Is that?
I was filming a beautiful scene of a sleeping seal on the beach.
Okay, I guess maybe the quality is just
and I wanted to get
compressed too
I wanted to
much.
see the beach and the ocean. And so with the high-resolution, ultra-wide
It's
lens,
0.6. Okay, that's interesting. Was it that before? Does somebody know?
Filming underwater, it's really important to have an ultra-wide lens because of the lack of clarity in the water. Means you need to get close to your subject.
True.
But if you're filming big things, you need
And
to get the wide
I
perspective.
applaud Samsung for putting in
With
a
any
much better
documentary filming,
ultra-wide
you need a
here.
range of lenses, and every time you want to change your perspective, change your focal length, you're having to stop the filming and change the lens and reset. Now, the beauty of filming with the S25 was it was all there at the touch of a
But
button.
the problem here is, right, no matter the accessories,
I had a
a
lot of
phone
fun
will just
filming a
never
little
be the
crab on the beach. I
perfect
was
thing
down
for
low with the camera
like
inching
National
closer and
Geographic style
closer,
footage.
closer.
It's just
Till the crab was
like the
literally
lenses
the
just
other
aren't
side
there.
of the
You can see
S25,
that
and
here, where it's
it
like
obviously looked and it came over and gave me a little pinch on my finger just to see what I was, and then it carried on and went
you
back
see,
down its hole. And
like you how much sharper that would
moment of
be with
intimacy
like
was
a
actually
real
really beautiful, and it's just
DSLR.
not something you'd ever get when
Or
you've got a
a
more
mirrorless
distance
camera
by
for
all
that
the
matter.
kit you
Just a
normally
big
have. So,
sensor.
yeah, it was a special moment.
Like, don't get me wrong, I would love to have the
In natural
processing
history
power and the AI
documentaries, you're
power
often
of modern
shooting sequences
smartphones
over multiple
in a
days, and the
dedicated
conditions can
camera,
often change from
but
day
I
to
would
day.
still take a
The advantage
dedicated
of shooting
camera in those
log
scenarios.
is that you've got maximum
Log,
flexibility
yeah,
to create
catching
a
up to the
uniform
iPhone
colour
15
across
Pro.
all those different shots. It was really great having that feature on the S25 Ultra because it meant I'd be filming early morning, middle of the day, very different conditions, but I just had that confidence that at the end of the day, I could get the perfect color balance across all my shots. When you're filming it, the colors look really quite muted. But then, when we took that footage from the S25 Ultra and you put it through the color grade, and then
I thought for a second he's using a Mac.
that's a really magic moment actually in the filmmaking process. The intimate nature of filming with the S25 really aligned with the theme of the film, connection. Connection
What happened
to the
there?
ocean. We are all part of this living Earth. And the ocean, it's part of us.
I mean, I see literally no shot that wouldn't have been possible with like an iPhone 13 Pro Max at that point. Not to say it might be better, right? It might, but it's just not
Galaxy
like some
S25's
huge
camera
game
unlocks
changer.
a
Maybe
new
for the
level
ultra wide
of creative
specifically.
freedom. So no matter where those photos or videos are taking place, on land, in the air, or even
I assume they are
underwater,
talking
our
like this in
technology
length about
ensures
Galaxy
stunning
AI and
results.
shit because they
And this
don't
is
have
true
other
whether you're a
hardware.
professional
Like usually they will
capturing
have like a
everyday
Galaxy
moments to share
notebook or
with
something
friends.
like that.
A new 10-bit HDR video provides a wider color range and contrast compared to standard dynamic range, resulting in more vibrant
Yeah, we've been
and
capturing
realistic
HDR video
so you
for
can take
years and years at this
breathtaking
point.
videos with just a simple touch.
What?
And for the first time on Galaxy, we're introducing a whole new pro-grade camera experience.
Log, okay.
Video.
Yeah.
Log video allows
She
you
was
to capture
surprised
a
that
wider
somebody
dynamic
clapped.
range with more detail, giving you maximum flexibility during the editing stage. It supports the 10-bit ATVC codec,
Okay.
offering better compatibility and smaller file sizes for easier shooting and editing.
I mean, ProRes log is
And
going to be
zebra
better,
pattern
but
and false color
that's
are
cool
built
still.
in to help you monitor brightness.
That's cool
But the
too.
magic really happens in post-production, where you can freely
Why
color
even
grade
talk about
your
post?
log videos
That's not.
with editing tools
This is not
like
your
DaVinci
app.
Resolve and Adobe Premiere
Okay,
Pro.
okay, so you maybe have
These
to talk
features
about it
bring
because
advanced filmmaking capabilities
like,
to a
oh,
device
somebody actually
you carry
supports
with you
this.
every day. Of course, shooting doesn't always go as planned. Have you ever filmed a video only to have it interrupted by background noise? Galaxy S25's audio eraser analyzes and separates the sound
Okay, I
specific
smell
to the
some
video,
Apple features
so you
again.
can reduce the levels of unwanted noise. Let's take a look at some B-roll from our set with John.
I had a lot of fun filming.
In this video, the AI detects noises like wind and waves.
The
So
AI,
you can
wow.
lower their volume
No
and make the
algorithms
voice
anymore, guys.
stand
It's
out.
all just AI.
Filming a little crab on the beach. I was down low with the camera inching closer and closer, closer, till the crab was literally just the other side of the S25.
I mean, that's not very good, but okay. I mean, could you literally not
Did you
hear
notice
the
difference?
Yeah, I could hear the distortion in his voice.
Galaxy S25 lets you capture every moment with clarity, helping you bring your story to life.
By the way, this is what I mean when I say that their demonstrations don't have the same production value as Apple's, which I'm not against showing that a feature might not be absolutely perfect. But obviously, if you put any feature to the highest level, whether it's contrast, exposure, volume, you will have some distortion that you might not be very desirable. But Apple just trims that fat during a presentation, and it's not misleading if Apple shows you like their stuff going up to 70% because that's a good balance, for example. But then Samsung shows you it up to 90, and then you hear like his voice literally crack because
The Galaxy S25 series and Galaxy AI
Thank
help
you.
you get things done, play, and create. It's transformative. But what we've shown you is only the beginning, because thanks to Samsung's expansive ecosystem, from health to home technology, you can scale that same AI across everything you do. To tell you more, please welcome Praveen.
We've talked a lot about how the Galaxy S25 series helps us navigate and capture the world around us. But it also transforms how we experience the world by focusing on something incredibly vital to all that we do, our health. With Samsung Health, our vision is to empower you to achieve your best self. We're doing that by creating an innovative end-to-end health and wellness experience that's intuitive and personalized. Our commitment to this vision has always driven our progress. From Galaxy Ring to Galaxy Watch and beyond, we have continued to lead in personalized digital health solutions. At the heart of it is our intelligent system for health, which learns about you, your daily activities and health metrics.
Steve, another of our
diet,
MarkTech Pro Max
sleep
supporters,
patterns,
tuning in
and
quickly
activity
before the gym.
levels
Thank you very
to
much for the
offer
€2.49.
personalized insights and coaching. I'll give you an example. I travel often.
I love how you
have
and
a
Max
busy
like
schedule.
always have like
So it's hard to
plans
know whether I'm
usually
getting
like
the sleep and rest I need,
similar but also
and how I
opposite
can
to me.
increase my
Like
energy to take on the day.
like your gym schedule is like 2 hours
This is where
before or
Samsung Health
after
comes in.
mine, so we never
It
quite
tracks how
meet.
much
But thank
sleep
you
I'm
for your
getting
continuous support.
and how well I've recovered, both physically and mentally, which feeds into my energy score and gives me a quick snapshot of my body's readiness to take on the day. Powered by intelligent algorithms, Samsung Health also gives me wellness tips throughout the day to help improve my energy score. Whether it's helping me get better sleep, stay active,
I have commented
eat
on this
right,
in the past.
or
I
meet
think
fitness
giving
goals,
scores to
these
shit
tips
in
are
your
tailored to
life
guide me towards the best
will
version of my health.
inevitably lead to a level
Soon,
of
these tips
obsession
will
that I
also
don't think is
include
very
gentle
healthy.
prompts to
I think
support
that
my
just
mental health and
tracking
resilience,
certain measures,
and
like
weekly
how much
reports
calories you eat,
full of
depending, like for
information
example,
and
I'm on a
tips
big weight
designed to
loss
help me
journey.
achieve
I've lost
optimal
like
physical and mental energy.
25 pounds
And
overall
with
in like
Samsung's
the last
broader smart
3
home
months,
ecosystem,
I believe,
I'll
if
be
my
able to enlist my home
kilogram to
to help me get
pound
the rest I need.
conversion is correct. But like
Imagine
whenever people are like,
fine-tuning
oh,
the
my sleep
temperature,
score is
air
8, I
quality,
need to get it
and
up to
even
9.
lighting
I'm like,
in real time
are you
as you
tired
fall asleep
throughout the day?
based on your sleep data.
Like, do you need, like you see, do you
Our
need a
goal is to shape
92
new
excellent
era
or do you
of
just need
personalized
to
tech
feel
that
fresh throughout
intuitively
the
adjusts
day?
to your lifestyle, including turning off the TV as you fall asleep for more restful
No,
nights.
no, please don't. I like actually having my TV on sometimes while asleep.
It's the beginning of a new year, and I'll bet that many of you have made resolutions to get healthier.
Nope, started
being
way
more fit,
before that.
eating better, staying more relaxed. Well, me too. Sticking with those resolutions can be a
This
challenge.
microphone is not
Samsung
very
Health can
good
support you across your
at
entire health experience,
taking away
from
those
setting
kinds of
goals
noises.
to
I
help
should
you
tune
achieve
my
them
mic
with
too for that,
personalized
by the way.
coaching.
But I
It
do
currently
sit a
tracks
little bit
key
further
data,
away from it,
like
which
your heart
helps.
health, nutrition, sleep, and exercise, helping you better understand your well-being and providing you with preventative tips and screening for certain
Guys,
health
are you
conditions.
also slowly falling asleep?
And with the
I think
personal
my
health
sleep
record
score after
now
this is
available
going to be like a
in the US and
9.7.
India, you can see health records from your doctor in Samsung Health and use features like medication tracking to follow their advice. And
Good.
don't worry, your data is securely stored, encrypted, and protected for your
Okay.
privacy. In 2025, we're excited to launch new features that make it easy to improve your health. From nutrition
It's
and
really
heart
hard,
health
though,
to
to
mental
put all of
well-being.
this into one score. Please don't tell me you do
If you're
that.
looking to reach your peak heart health, the vascular load indicator
Okay, yeah,
will help
Apple
you
has
understand
something
how
like
your
that.
daily activities will impact your cardiovascular system and give you the tools to reduce strain on your heart and maintain long-term heart health. And to provide easier ways to track whether you're eating healthy, we will be introducing the antioxidant index.
Oh, Jesus,
A
that's...
groundbreaking feature that will measure nutrient-rich compounds in your system called beta-carotene.
Oh, no.
By tracking these antioxidants, you'll get
You
personalized
really
nutrition
have to be
advice
super
that helps
precise in how
ensure
you
you're
measure
eating
this.
right. And with Samsung Foods' tailored meal plans and recipes, managing your nutrition will become effortless.
This feels a
Given
lot
the
like
rise in
Fitness
mental health
Plus,
needs,
or
Samsung Health
however
will
it's
launch
called
a
inside Apple
mindfulness
One.
feature
It's
to
one of
support
those.
your mental health,
It's one of those array of
helping you
features that
monitor
might
your
not be
mood
bad,
and
but I
guiding
just
you
don't
through
think a
self-care and
smartphone is the
mindfulness
perfect place
practices
for it.
that are integrated into your daily routine. And finally, Samsung Health will become your own personal health coach, integrating data about your health to provide holistic insights and actionable paths forward to help you reach your health goals and even follow your doctor's advice. This is Health Reimagined. And we're not just talking about one-off interventions. Our vision is to develop a comprehensive system that supports you through every stage of your health journey.
Like, this is a
From measuring your
big
current health
criticism of
to
mine.
giving
Like,
you personalized health
you
insights and
like
coaching,
this
and
derails
connecting
the
you with
presentation
providers and
entirely.
caregivers.
Like, whatever tempo you
With our
gain from
AI
like
tools,
talking
you
about
will
the
even be able
cameras,
to ask questions,
it just has
get
gone
real-time
completely
insights,
down the
and
cliff.
receive
This is a
personalized
presentation
coaching
that should
as if
have
you
been
would
part
from
of
your
One
own
UI
personal health
7, not the
assistant,
presentation
all through Samsung
after you
Health.
show the hardware.
Our focus is on providing
Or you show
holistic
specific
care
hardware that
revolves around
optimizes for these features,
your
like a new
health
watch, a new
to your
ring,
home.
or maybe even
To
just
tell
a
you
new
more,
motion
please
tracker
welcome
inside
back
your
Drew.
phone. Like, what is this presentation style? New ways to... Like, this shit should have been part of a separate One UI 7 presentation.
Thank you, Praveen.
This is basically
Galaxy
like
AI is
1/8
designed to
of
provide you with care that supports you
WWDC
in
being
all areas of your
shoehorned
life,
into this like
even at home.
very
With our
specific
decades-long
generation
heritage of
presentation.
innovation and synergy with our multi-device ecosystem, Samsung is uniquely positioned to redefine connected living.
Oh my God,
putting
this looks
your
exactly
well-being
like
at the
the Home
center.
app.
A home is so much more than the devices in it. It's about the people and pets that you love.
Yeah, but you control
That's
the
heart of
appliances.
Galaxy AI and SmartThings. Already, over 370 million users worldwide are using SmartThings to transform homes into smart ecosystems that learn, understand, and adapt
To be
you.
honest, beyond like
And that makes it
like
easier to support
controlling some
the
shit
loved
with
ones
my
in your home
HomePod,
through
like my
automation and
TV,
personalized
and
routines,
stuff like that, and
even
like
when you're away.
routing through
For a pet
eARC,
parent, you've probably wondered
my
about what your pet
PS5
is doing
sound
when
to
you're
it.
not
I
home.
never cared too much about
With
smart home
SmartThings, you
shit.
can
I
check
feel
in
like
on your
sometimes
pets
it
when you're
makes
away.
more
If
stress
they
than
seem
it
lonely or
solves.
bored, you can even keep them company by turning on their favorite channel. SmartThings will also help you look after your pet's well-being.
This is so incredibly
insights
first
into their
world.
activity
Like,
and overall
is your
wellness.
dog bored
We're
at
actively
home?
collaborating
Have
on
you
pet
considered
healthcare
turning on your
and we're
70-inch
excited to
TV
announce that
to
pre-vet
excite them?
consultations will be available
Does your
soon in the
dog
United
have a
States.
specific
So
favorite
you'll be able to
channel
ask
that you
vet
want to
questions
turn
about your
on?
pet's health and get answers based on your pet's health records.
What the...
We know that taking good care of yourself, your home, and your loved ones requires energy. To help lessen the load, SmartThings provides meaningful insights to help you conserve energy, so your devices can work harder and smarter for you. By leveraging AI to analyze data from your connected devices and comparing your monthly energy usage, SmartThings will be able to help you manage
Yeah, guys,
your home
half of
energy
our
consumption,
viewers just vanished
suggesting
because
actionable
I would have
energy-saving
too, to be
options
quite
in
honest.
an easy, insightful way. It's all about helping you care for your home seamlessly. With a simple request for
This
assistance,
might actually
Bixby
be
can
one
help
of the
you
worst
navigate your
presentations
connected
I've
home.
seen in that regard,
If you
because
ask Bixby to
I
turn
don't
off the
think it's
TV when you
the
fall asleep,
absolute worst. Like,
it'll use your
obviously,
wearable to
like,
detect it
if
when you've
there's
fallen
not
asleep
anything
and turn off
interesting
the
in a
TV.
show, it's automatically
That's
worse.
connected
And
intelligence at its
technically, you
best,
at least
working
still have the
together to
S25
support
to
you.
talk about. But
That's
in
what
terms
we've
of
done through our open
pacing,
partnership with
this is
Matter, creating a
horrible.
connectivity standard that
So
makes it
no
simple
wonder
to add
that
more
even like
devices to
our
your home
like
network.
highest tier supporters
we're
who are
proudly
giving
building a
money are
foundation
like, yeah,
for the
you know what,
future
I'm
of
gonna
smart
check it
homes.
out
Not just for the
tomorrow,
next
or I'm
decade,
going to
but
the
for the next
gym.
century. Here's Tobin Richardson to tell us more.
Like, this is
Thank you for the invitation
mind
to speak
blowing.
today, and for the remarkable passion the Samsung team brings to developing and advancing
Like, do you
Connectivity Standards Alliance
remember like how
technologies.
Apple
With the
shows
Alliance,
like
it's our
home
mission to
stuff,
ignite
like
creativity
the fun
and
like
collaboration in
actual
the
like
Internet of
pop-up
Things.
homes
By
they've
developing,
built?
evolving, and promoting universal open standards that enable all objects to connect and interact securely. Samsung's philosophy of openness and support for multi-vendor ecosystems is in harmony with that mission
Apple
and the vision of a
Home
unified interoperable IoT
WWDC
ecosystem.
demo.
With leadership roles at every level of the alliance, Samsung continues to
Change to
drive this
English.
alignment by supporting initiatives like Matter, furthering our shared vision of advancing the IoT
I
landscape.
think I would need to
and
go
benefiting
into one of those
manufacturers,
podcasts and
developers,
then
and
I would get
consumers
demonetized
worldwide.
automatically,
Our
unfortunately.
work is far from done. As we continue to tackle challenges today in interoperability, user
That's
experience,
unfortunate. But yeah,
security, and
if you
scalability
remember,
to
if
advance
you
the
know what I
smartphone
mean,
and the
that's what you would
integration of
want.
AI. Matter plays a transformative role by creating a unified interoperability language.
But
paving
who
the way for
cares about
innovative
that during the
AI-driven homes.
S25
Achieving this
presentation?
vision requires a collaborative
Like,
approach.
Matter
and
is not
relies on
even that
resilient
new at
industry
this
partnerships.
point. Yeah, it's now more universally adopted,
Samsung's
and that's
dedication
good, and it's
has
gotten
helped
some
drive the
updates.
adoption of Matter across the industry.
But like, really,
With
we
Matter
need to
compatible
talk about
SmartThings
it
hubs
right
built into
now?
millions of products. We are grateful for Samsung's expertise, collaborative spirit, and leadership. Together, we're not just building seamless connected
He
experiences.
sounds AI
we're building a
generated, by the
robust,
way.
trustworthy industry and a more accessible, secure smart home for everyone.
Thank you, Tobin. We're incredibly proud of this partnership for all the ways it represents
I mean,
openness
why?
and
Everyone
enhances
does it.
Thanks to Matter's open standard, we've been able to streamline integration across countless devices with SmartThings, including Google Nest. From automation to
Okay,
pet care,
that's a very
Galaxy
specific
AI
call
is
out, I
personalized
guess.
to support you across
So
your
Google
home
really
ecosystem.
sponsored, I guess, a lot
That
here.
means security is crucial. With Knox Matrix, each of your devices can monitor threats amongst themselves, using a private blockchain to maintain safety, raising the overall level of security.
Okay.
Our commitment to security and privacy extends to the broader Samsung Galaxy ecosystem, from wearables to your home.
To the Apple Watch Ultra
That means a home
copy,
where
to the
everything's
AirPods
personalized
copy.
to you, with optimized energy and care for your
Oh,
family
by the
and
way,
pets.
is the titanium
to make your
frame
life
once
better,
again
easier,
not
simpler.
color aligned with the back?
But as we think about how we can improve everyday experiences, it's also important to consider how we can make a positive impact on the world around us. To explore this further, I'd like to hand it over to Cassie to share more.
Is it going to be like an environmental report? Yeah, okay, sustainability, which is cool. I like it. Though I wish, like, you could have mentioned sustainability with your phone, mention whether or not it uses more recyclable materials and stuff like that.
Today, you've seen how Samsung continues
I like her
to push the
outfit.
boundaries of technology in
It's
so
quirky,
many
but
ways.
nice.
And we believe that through advanced technology, we can also
Okay, the
create a
microphones just
better
were
world
not
for
tuned
all.
for higher pitched voices. It's not the
We
fault of
launched
the
our
women.
Galaxy for the Planet
It's the
initiative
echo
in
of the large
2021 as
room,
part of our commitment
plus
to do
just the
more with
microphones are
less.
not tuned correctly.
This
Damn,
initiative
guys,
includes a
do
set
your
of
women
4
better.
goals to be
Like, they
achieved
deserve
by
it.
2025, focused on embedding sustainable practices across our product lifecycle. We've been working hard to meet these targets and are now nearing the finish line. For recycling, we've even set a new goal for 2030 to incorporate at least one recycled material in every module of every mobile product. To continue towards this 2030 goal,
That's arbitrary.
we've
You
expanded our use
shouldn't
of
just
recycled
switch stuff
materials
where
in
you
Galaxy
don't have a good
devices to
alternative,
include
but
8
if you
key
do, you should do it
materials.
as much as possible.
The Galaxy
I like this
S25
blue.
and S25 Plus feature recycled armor aluminum for their
Ah,
external
okay,
frames,
okay,
making
nice,
them
nice.
the first Galaxy smartphones to have every external component incorporate recycled materials.
To what percentage, please?
With the Galaxy S25, we're taking another step forward by repurposing Samsung products that have reached the end of their life cycle. Today,
By not
we're
supporting
excited to
Galaxy
announce
AI.
the creation of our circular battery supply chain, partnering with like-minded organizations to reuse batteries
Yeah, I
from
need to
previous
shave my
used
neck.
Galaxy devices. This new process allows us to extract cobalt from the discarded batteries of Galaxy products,
Good.
creating
That's
new
definitely a
batteries that
positive.
contain 50% recycled cobalt. By recycling materials,
And you see, because
we're
you're
reducing
talking
the
about
need for
something
raw
that is
resources
specific to
and
you, not
minimizing
very
our
broad, like
environmental
meta
impact.
integration, which isn't even that
Beyond
new.
materials,
Like,
we're also
this is
exploring how
more
technology
interesting.
can
For one, you
actively
could
make a
mention the
meaningful
specific
impact on the
product you
planet.
talked about today. Then
Starting
you
with
talked a
ocean-bound
little bit more
plastic.
broader about the
Galaxy
ecosystem.
and Samsung have been
And even
committed to
broader
driving
about just
positive change
your
for our
broader
oceans.
sustainability goals. That's
By
fine. This is a
repurposing
good
discarded fishing
thing
nets
to
into
cover.
Galaxy components, we've prevented over 150 tons of nets from entering our seas since 2022. Through
She
these
expected
efforts, we've
applause
also
there.
deepened our understanding of coral reefs, which are essential to ocean health and are increasingly threatened by plastic pollution and climate change.
True.
As John Clay mentioned earlier, we're all connected to the ocean. This sense of connection drives our ongoing commitment to protecting and nurturing the planet. To further this mission, we've partnered with Sea Trees, a nonprofit organization to provide researchers and local communities with Galaxy cameras for coral reef restoration. Our engineers developed Ocean Mode for the Galaxy S24 Ultra to help Sea Trees local partners
The
capture
S24?
high-quality underwater photos and monitor these vital ecosystems.
Okay.
Through these initiatives, we're reminded that sustainability
You probably
is
would have been better
achievable.
off just giving them money.
Together
Just saying.
with like-minded partners, we're striving to shape a better world for all.
Galaxy
Thank
for the
you.
planet. I'll give it some praise. It's not bad.
Today, we saw some stellar features of the Galaxy S25 series.
Really?
Allow me to give a brief summary.
Oh my
The
god,
Galaxy
please.
S25 series is built to redefine what a smartphone can do, with cutting-edge AI and next-level performance. With One UI 7, the Galaxy S25 series
Is there still no
provides a
16
seamless
gigs
mobile experience
of
that
memory?
feels natural,
Really?
intuitive, and effortless. Equipped with a customized AP optimized for gaming, it delivers unparalleled performance and responsiveness.
Oh my god, Samsung,
And the
like
AI-powered camera offers stunning
this will be the
photography
first
with
year in a
professional
while
level
where the
editing
maximum
tools
RAM
letting you
configuration on a
create like
Samsung and the
never before.
maximum RAM
And the
configuration
best
on an
part?
iPhone is the
All of
same.
these features
If the
are
iPhone
available
Pro
across
integrates
the
it,
entire
yeah, there's
Galaxy S25
there's
lineup,
no
from
16
the
gigs.
base model to the Plus.
Am I
In
reading
short,
this wrong? Oh, this is just the Plus. Yeah. I thought I missed
Galaxy
like the
S25 Ultra will
Ultra.
be available starting at $1,299.
Is that a
And the
no? That's the
S25
same
and
price.
S25 Plus will be available starting at $799
That's a
and
Yeah, that's a
$999
competitor to the regular
The
models.
Galaxy S25 series
This makes
will
it
be
more
available
expensive than the
starting
iPhone
February
Plus, which for
7th,
that you get
and pre-orders
promotion, I
start
guess.
today.
This is not great pricing in comparison to Chinese models.
I'm so excited for you to try it out yourself and experience all
So
the
wait,
benefits it
is there
brings.
one more thing?
With the Galaxy S25
Is there a Galaxy
series, we're setting a new
S25 Slim?
standard for mobile AI innovation, where your device doesn't just understand you, it anticipates what you need, when and how you need it, and then takes action to support you. We can't wait for you to experience it yourself. Thank you so much for being a part of Unpacked.
Wait, that's it? So no Slim model? Oh,
Just when you think you've seen Just when you think you've seen it all, the show isn't over.
Oh, thank God.
A culmination of our most innovative technology, packed into a form that's sleek, powerful,
Okay,
and unlike anything
Max
you've
joining
seen
to
before.
say this is kind of boring. Well, now
Galaxy
maybe it's not.
S25 Edge.
Edge. Okay, like the DualSense Edge, like the. But I like from recently. Okay, this is a dual camera system. So the leaks that were saying it would have 3 cameras seem fake. Now I wonder what the battery capacity is going to be, because those rumors said it's like 4900. Okay, dual cameras don't look too large, especially the ultra wide. Oh, is that a tease, like the Galaxy Ring? Oh, it's a tease. No, why would you do that? I know it's not like coming out until April, but do we need a separate presentation for this? Jesus Christ, why? No. I hate those teasers that Samsung does. I hated it when they did it for like the Galaxy Ring, and it turned out to be exactly what. Oh, but hey, at least all those leakers who said it had like a tri-camera system are proven to be fake. So I guess that's something. And Max, now I have to agree with you saying that it's kind of boring, because when I thought it might actually be going up in level of interest for me, it just crashed and burned. Like Samsung.com. I think the base models are not terrible value proposition, especially if you compare them to can I please go to the English what the actual what okay. It had to load the entire freaking website. Okay, give me United States, North America, and USA and English. Sure, remember it, whatever, cannot hurt. Samsung and cookies. Save up to $1,200, I guess. What would you even be selling them? Oh, probably like a Z6, right? Or something like that. So learn more about these devices. We usually do that. So $12.99. This is once again $100 more as the starting price than the iPhone 16 Pro Max, or 15 Pro Max was before that. Though let's look at pre-orders. At pre-orders, you usually get the higher storage tier for free. So $12.99 is usually the price for 256 gigabytes. But obviously you would have to be insane if right now you didn't like buy this like the 512 gigabyte version instead. No. So they once again have online exclusive colors. Let me see what these colors are on the side. Okay, so they can go dark. Oh god. Guys, let me know what you thought. Okay, so they do not fully color match this, right? Yeah. So a more warm tone on the back is just meant with a like brushed natural titanium. And here, like, what is this color even called? Do they not give names here? Yeah, it's the same principle. Samsung is once again not fully aligning these colors. So, yep, that blue tone, which is incredibly subtle, just silver. Riveting tail-shaped limo, the oh god under the breath got me laughing. For what part? I think I've said oh god quite so. Oh no, what the action? Oh my god, oh god. Jesus, how can you do this? How can you do this silver titanium? It's called titanium pink gold. Oh my god, I'm gonna vomit so freaking hard. Look at this. It's a completely dark back. It doesn't even actually look bad. I would argue it looks, but the online exclusive one, right, matches your titanium frame. Okay, no Samsung. I don't want to rewatch it, believe me. But then this, which I assume is going to be the more regular version because it's not the online exclusive. Did the color say somewhere when I click? Oh, the color comes up on top. Oh, I'm sorry. It's been a long 2 days. Yeah. So it's titanium jet black and it's titanium black. So jet black and black have almost the exact same black tone on, I would argue it's more of a gray tone on the back, but then jet black matches the titanium frame. Then this is pink gold, which that makes sense. It's kind of rose goldish, but not really. Silver blue, it's not bad. At least the silver kind of matches what I would call the titanium here. And then titanium white silver is probably the cleanest look because if Samsung is not going to bother just giving you a color matched frame. Wait, is this frame different than... At this point, I couldn't tell you. This looks slightly different. Is this a warmer tone? But yeah, this one, for example, yeah, this one is just freaking silver. So, oh my God, this is so stupid. Let's look at the specs in general, or let's even compare it, I guess, to the S24 Ultra. Yeah, okay, S24. Okay, that's not bad. So you see we have the departure from this design with the slightly rounded corners. We have slimmer bezels, though obviously like those curved screens were still like the smallest one. From 1419, that's not the price. So storage, the same here. 5,000 milliamp hours have been the standards you can see for a while. 12 gigs of RAM, so no 16 gigabyte configuration. That's really weird for Samsung, but okay. I assume 5G and Wi-Fi 7 are just going to get enhanced overall. So ultra wide here. So we are sticking with an f2.2 aperture, which is surprising because the rumors that I had seen shown that it would be like an f2.0 or like an f1.9. But hopefully it's still the large sensor that was rumored. Yeah, but overall they don't show you too much, unfortunately. It's Bluetooth 5.4, so no Bluetooth 6. I've seen some Chinese devices like talk about Bluetooth 6. I still don't know how they would even do that, because while the standard is finished, it's not really like that easy to integrate right now, but that's neither here nor there. So the front-facing camera is likely staying the same. That's disappointing because I haven't been a great fan of Samsung's selfie camera in a while. USB 3.2 Gen 1, I believe that still limits it to 5 gigabits per second. Man, Google just cannot get a hint. Show results in English. Please. Okay, so... Nope. Yeah, USB 3 Gen 1 is 5 gigabits. It's USB 3.2 Gen 1 times 2, that's 10 gigabits. Or it's USB 3 Gen 2 times 1. And I assume they would use this branding if it was actually a USB-C, if it was actually 10 gigabits. Or they would at least refer to this. So yeah, I assume that it's 5 gigabits per second. I thought Bluetooth 7 was announced. Bluetooth 6 is announced. I believe the... Dimensity 9400 utilizes it, or at least it's on the theoretical spec sheet. Again, not everything that you see on the spec sheet for a processor is exactly what ends up in products. But I believe I went with it with you guys. It's big cores, unmatched power efficiency, a vision connectivity here. 4 nanometer Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth chip. Does it say which Bluetooth? It doesn't actually. Okay. So maybe I was misguided here. No, here. Bluetooth 6.0 with dual Bluetooth engine. So maybe that's just I believe the 8 Elite advertises that too, but it's an optional standard. I don't think you have to integrate it if you have the chip. Hamad Arbab saying, does international S25 base have Snapdragon? Let me check. But I wouldn't. I don't think so. I don't think it would make sense. Like, given just how much of their AI effort right now is just based on optimizing for the 8 Elite. I mean, Germany has always been an Exynos land. So I guess the actual, like, thank God I didn't open some porn site or whatever. Samsung.de. So let's look at mobile, Galaxy smartphone. Let's look at the base models at the very least, because if something is gonna specs. Jesus, why would I want like a live stream call, like a chat bot? So it still starts with 128 gigabytes. So those rumors were correct. It clocks it up to 4.47 gigahertz, so it's just an overclocked 8. Yeah, this is an 8 Elite chip. 3.5 gigahertz, 4.47 gigahertz, 8 cores. Yeah, this looks like the Snapdragon 8 Elite to me. But I always hate that they don't bring that up somehow. It's so stupid. But yeah, it seems like it's Snapdragon, at least from what I can see. The S25 starts with 256 at least. The chips seem to be the same. And then the Ultra. Wait, is the RAM at least also here different? Yeah, the RAM is 12 gigabytes across the board. Do they specify how fast it is? No. They do not even say whether it's like 10,700 megahertz memory, which could be a cool spec point for them to advertise. And yeah, it's the same chip across the board here. So the Ultra, with every storage configuration, it also features like 12 gigs of memory. And the same connectivity stuff. So I would strongly assume that we are talking Snapdragon across the board. And this is like the 5,000 milliampere hour here. Like, this is not going to be the best battery. I would almost bet on it, especially if the screen is not switching to a next gen. Like, this does not look promising. Every Android brand that has incorporated the Snapdragon 8 Elite has at least by 200 or 300 milliampere hours grown their battery. Like, and some have gone a lot farther. Some have like almost like 15-18% larger batteries. Like, they were a little bit over 5,000, have gone up to 6,000, or they were at around 5,000, have gone up to 5,700, 5,800. Samsung sticking to the same capacity without dramatically improving the screen. Something tells me that it's not going to be a battery champ. Hamad saying, "Oh, thanks, was hoping for it." Well, I'm glad. Let me look. Ultra wideband is in the S25 Ultra. It should be in all models, right? Because it's so much easier to integrate. It's on the Plus. Thank you. And let's look at the regular S25. Oh no, it doesn't. Does it not have it? Does the regular S25 does not have ultra wideband again? Why? Or did I skip it? Please tell me I skipped it. Zohar saying, I heard nothing about One UI 7. We heard plenty broad stuff about One UI 7, like how personal it is, how natural it is, how intuitive it is. But we haven't actually gone into details beyond like what is basically a live activities copy. It's a shame. Believe me. So let's go back to the English-speaking site. Let's actually maybe look at all the specs here. Oh my God, look how aggressive this website is. Like, Jesus, that's not well-tuned Samsung, but okay. Mobile, so you can even see, by the way, that like Galaxy AI now sits on top of Galaxy smartphone, right? Like if we go to apple.com, and again, this is an Apple focused channel. We're not here, but even here, at least like you can see, iPhone 16 Pro, hello Apple Intelligence. Apple focuses a lot on AI, and it goes on my nerves too. But Apple still favors the smartphone, right? You click on iPhone and you don't see Apple Intelligence as the first result. You see all iPhone, 16 Pro, 16, 15. Suhar is saying you sub. Thank you. I always appreciate new people. It's always hard because November is when we get some last big news, right, with the M4 generation. Then December is like basically dead in terms of tech news. Then January has like some CES stuff, but that's not too interesting to most people watching this channel. But then we get the Samsung announcement, and then we react to the reviews and stuff like that. That helps. But then until Dub, it's usually dead again. Though hopefully this year in April, though I'm very, very busy this April, unfortunately. But Apple is going to introduce the iPhone SE4, the iPad Air with supposedly an M3 chip, a MacBook Air with an M4 chip. So there's going to be some stuff to talk about. So, but if you are joining me after a Galaxy live stream, that's all the better. Thank you so much. Let me look into more stuff here. So mobile, Galaxy smartphone actually. Where's the S25 series? There it is. Jesus. Let's compare the base models actually, right? Let's look at the S24, right? And let's compare it to the base S25. So the blues, this is cobalt violet. I don't know why I thought it was blue for a second. So this blue is way better than any color here. So big plus here for Samsung. Suhar is saying, have been experienced overheating with my A35 when gaming to the point I can play it because it gets very hot. I don't think One UI 7 will fix an A35 though. Like nothing that Samsung has ever said about One UI 7 has suggested that they are fixing like performance and like game mode optimizations for like cheaper older models at that point. Where would the S20? Oh, they don't even let you compare it. Of course they don't. But like, yeah, the A35 just doesn't feel like their focus here. So it's thinner and lighter. That's nice. So it still has that garbage 10 megapixel telephoto, this underwhelming 12 megapixel. The ultra wide, this one is really not good, even by 12 megapixel ultra wide standards. And the wide angle 50 megapixel at this point is quite a bit old, right? Why can't I not just go to the S23 series like I could on the ultra? So the battery capacity is the same. They promise 1 hour of extra battery life. Which I mean, maybe, but at this point, why reduce the weight? It's such a light device. Make it like 175 grams, right? At that point, you have 12 grams over this. You clearly have found some ways to optimize like internals. And actually give us at least like 4,200 milliampere hours, right? Like 5% more battery for maybe in some tests it could give you 10% better battery life in like highly optimized scenarios. Why not do that? So this 2600 nits peak brightness is bullshit. It's nothing. Like I always refer back to like the GSM Arena brightness tests here. By the way, guys, we've been streaming for over 1.5 hours. If you haven't yet subscribed, but you're enjoying the content, please consider doing so. Share the content, like it, comment. You see, I love interacting with a lively live chat, getting your input, answering your questions, things like that. And if you want to support me directly, you can do like Max and Steve did and leave a super chat or a super sticker right while I'm live. You can become a channel member right here on YouTube. Shout out again to Steve and Max and Angelica, who are all MarTech Pro Max supporters right here on YouTube. Or you can choose to become a supporter over Patreon. A link for that is in the description. So, okay, 50 megapixel ultra wide camera. Do they mention how large it at least is? No, it's they don't have extra info, at least it seems. Ah, God. For $12.99, this is really a big ask. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot why I even was at GSM Arena. Looking at the S24 series, S24, they should have a review. And display brightness 1400. So that brightness peak was like for, I don't know, like a 1% brightness in HDR and whatever. And even in manual brightness, like, no, sorry. And it's supposedly we are getting the same screens here. It's from the S24 to the S25 series, which is disappointing, to be quite honest. I mean, and they promise all the time like 30-40% larger vapor chambers, but the S24 Ultra in some ways underperformed, like not in the actual benchmarks because the 8 Gen 3 is a better chip than the 8 Gen 2, but it didn't really like percentage wise show like 40% better cooling, which I guess like just the vapor chamber being larger does not automatically make your cooling that much better, because like it still then hits, especially on the Ultra. Titanium is not very good at heat dissipation. Glass is not very good at heat dissipation. So depending on how they're now kind of like ceramic shield front glass and their new back glass or whatever, if those might be worse at heat dissipation, then maybe the larger vapor chamber just makes sure that the heat is evenly distributed. Oh, by the way, looking at spec points, do they have battery charging speeds? Because it was rumored that it would be, this is a weird way to show memory. Like, you're basically saying, oh, 16 gigabytes should exist, but it doesn't. This is weird. Armor aluminum frame, enhanced. What branding what happened here? Where the S25 looks inferior to the S24, right? This looks like this is the enhanced version, but the frame is enhancer than enhanced. 1 to 125 hertz, so it is an LTPO screen, so we know at least that that's what they introduced for the regular S24, while previous non-Ultra models still had LTPS panels. 2340 by 1080, so same. Don't bringing up clock speeds here, but we know it's 4.47. Okay, so yeah, the base models basically got almost nothing. S24 Plus versus S25 Plus here. Let's look there. You can see already all the AI stuff. 2 times optical level zoom. Okay, so here no changes either. So the cameras here are really gonna disappoint. 1 hour more of video playback. This doesn't look too promising. Again, why weight reducing? Like, why not make it just 205 grams, just a tiny bit heavier? Give us a 5,200, 5,300 milliamp hour battery, a less than 10% increase, and actually have something to show off. The 8 Elite, except for gaming and some stuff, will consume more power at its peak. So I don't get it why this is not the generation where you finally improve battery capacity, especially in a generation where all Chinese competitors have done it. Apple has even improved battery capacities on the 16 series. Yeah, granted, their battery capacity is still lower, but they do have greater control over iOS, their A series chips and stuff like that. So in my opinion, this is almost guaranteed to lose basically every major battery comparison except for Mr. Who's the Boss, who has very, very weird testing. I believe the tech chap does it better, if I'm remembering his name correctly. So that leaves us only with the Ultra models. Let's go to the Ultra first, S24 Ultra. Here the S25. So yeah, it's only the 50 megapixel camera. I assume they always say that they have like a slightly newer generation sensor. I never really see that. I see some changes through like a different HDR processing pipeline, but yeah, it's not enough. Dead weight reduction is actually quite comfy. I think this puts it this makes it a little bit lighter than an iPhone 16 Pro Max, which I believe is like, what, 222 grams? If I'm not mistaken. Where are the spec sheets? There. Its weight is 227 grams. So yeah, that would make it 10 grams lighter. Which again, why do that and not increase battery capacity? Yeah. So 6.9-inch screen. My expectation is this is basically view more, please. That's a weird choice here. So the resolution is the same. So this would have an ever so slightly lower pixel density, or they're just measuring the 6.9 inches a tiny bit differently. So yeah, but RAM and storage are the same, and so are basically the prices between those configurations. And again, the way they're like have written down so much stuff for the S24 series, it makes it look almost like the S25 is like worse off with like Corning Gorilla Armor 2, but this is like Armor and Glass Victus 2 on the back. So 5G, S Pen compatibility. Oh, how has the design... Wait. That's very important. S25 Ultra, did it get that downgraded S Pen? If any of you guys let me know. Accessories. Oh, by the way, does it support Qi 2 directly, or does it need cases? Because they didn't talk at all about Qi 2, right? Key upgrades. So thinner with a bigger screen, 14-gram lighters, still with a built-in S Pen. Is that S Pen dumber? Does it not have wireless connectivity anymore? Jesus. Does anybody else cover this? GSM Arena. We can actually briefly look at, I think Marquez would have like a hands-on right away, right? Yeah. It's a 9-minute video. I think we can watch this and then wrap it up.
Okay, so sometimes new phones come out and people are basically like, oh, it's the same as last year. It's basically last year's phone with a new name, nothing changed. And that's mostly exaggeration. There are a few things usually that are at least worth talking about. But with this phone, I can honestly say there is nothing.
Wow.
Nothing dramatically new about the S25s. So welcome to your first look at the Samsung Galaxy S25 series, S25, S25 Plus, and S25 Ultra. Plus my take on what's going on with Samsung right now. So right off rip, very familiar on the outside, right? With the standard phones.
Which, by the way, like, let us just evaluate the button situation. I know some people don't like camera control. And I know you can, like, I believe, double click the home, the power button for this. But now you, like, that's it, right? You have your volume ups and downs. You have your power button for a regular click, a press for Google Gemini or AI, and then double click for this. And maybe you can do something with a triple click. So iPhones would then give you the action button and camera control on top. So while, and that means you can free up the double click functionality on the power button to, of course, the wallet app, which for people who use Apple Pay all day and stuff like that, or for example, my like public transport, the stuff is in there for authentication, things like that. Yeah, this already just makes it so much less versatile in that regard. Who would have thought that Apple would be like the company with the most most buttons in 2025.
About the new colors, I honestly don't think I could tell the difference between this and last year. Same 6.2 inch and 6.7 inch sizes, same flat sides, same cold design. If you really want to get into the weeds about it, they moved the 5G antenna to the other side, up at the top there. So
that looks like camera control.
It's your tell that you're holding the new model. But really all the changes are going to be on the inside. It's rocking the new Snapdragon 8 Elite 4 Galaxy chip with a slightly upgraded vapor chamber and 12 gigs of base RAM across the board now. And then the Ultra, so the Ultra actually did get a little bit of a cosmetic update. Can you tell the difference?
That's the previous Ultra. Yeah,
this
I
is
can
the
tell.
S25 Ultra. Now can you tell?
Yeah, I
what they
mean,
did?
it has
Same
rounded
battery
corners.
size, same port and button layout, but this time the sides are just a bit more squared off.
Yeah,
and
I
rectangular.
have to say, this looks a bit too squared off. Even like the iPhone 12 and 13 series looked smoother. This looks almost like they just have this titanium frame and they push this shit inside regardless of color or whatever, and it just looks really disjointed.
Angular, and the rings around the camera bumps are all a bit bigger. So the bezels are a little bit smaller on the front, about 15% smaller. So there you go, a little more screen. That counts as a design update, I guess. But internally,
Yeah.
Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy again, and a 40% larger vapor chamber. And it's also upgraded to the newest Gorilla Glass at the front, and there's a new 50 megapixel ultra-wide camera replacing the outgoing 12 megapixel. Otherwise, the rest of the cameras, and really the rest of the specs in total, from the battery to the brightness, are all the same.
The Apple Watch Ultra that he uses.
Everything else new here is software. So we'll get to that in a second. But you
I
remember when
don't
phones
care
used to
about
do
that.
just the S update every other year? They would have a big jump and then a small jump. And that small jump was like a spec bump in the same design. This is the purest form of just going back to that. Like, this is basically a Galaxy S24s. And on one hand, how can you blame them, right? Like, the S24 line sold really well for them. People love those phones. The Ultra won my phone of the year last year. So stick with the formula.
Bad choice.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. But on the other hand, that phone was also really similar to the year before that, which was similar to the year before that. So after a while, the design does feel kind of stale. But like I said,
It's not about the design. It's about everything else. Like I have criticized Apple for not changing the camera hardware enough, right? But Apple's AI stuff and Apple's image signal processing has been leaping ahead of Samsung. So the fact that we sometimes focus a lot on like, oh, the A17 versus the A16 and stuff like that, you know, now A18. But fact is that those are chips that are designed to do specific things inside sometimes very specific hardware, right? The reason why it's sometimes funny to see like an A series chip, even in an iPad mini, is you know that like the image signal processor, for example, is entirely underutilized, right? Or sometimes if they have like the same image signal processor on like an M series chip in a MacBook and all it's controlling is like the front facing camera, it's like, yeah, there are reasons why Apple designs certain hardware and why that hardware interacts well together. I'm not saying Samsung has not optimized their S25 hardware to work well with the Snapdragon 8 Elite, but there is a reason why Samsung has been falling further and further behind in like camera comparisons, at least in my opinion. Mr. George Best, oh hi Mark, been a while, how you doing? Hope everything's doing great on your end. Yeah, it's all fine. I'm really tired. I believe I've said it in the beginning of the stream. I had like 2 very busy work days, and up until like a few hours ago, I haven't eaten for 36 hours. So I was very high basically without any drugs or alcohol. But yeah, I am fine. I'm always enjoying just chatting with you guys, meeting new people, and just learning new tech stuff.
And most of what's new is software, and specifically, you guessed it, AI stuff. So there's a long list of new Galaxy AI features launching on the S25 series, which have a range of usefulness, I'll put it that way. So
I
the
don't
biggest
care,
one
like,
is
the-
this
the-
new,
the-
there's another one now called AI Select.
I don't
Super
care
easily
about any of this.
Curated information, a good thing, but
Wait,
the AI stuff.
do they not cover the S Pen? Is the S Pen actually downgraded? Galaxy S25 Ultra S Pen. Enhance on Samsung Plus. That's, please give me English. Show results in English. Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra back to boring basis. Mr. George Best, something you only need in life is a glass of Jack Daniels and a cigar. Uh, yeah, like I am a cigar fan, like once a year. Not as much of a Jack Daniels fan, admittedly. Maybe as a cocktail though. Maybe though. Right now, I would definitely take one. Yeah, I thought about mixing myself a cocktail before streaming, but I just didn't eat enough to like process alcohol right now. Samsung goes back to basics with the S24 Ultra stylus. The company has stripped out the magic wand gestures, and the S Pen can no longer trigger your phone's camera. The reasoning: not many people use these features. The Ultra model in Samsung Galaxy S lineup is typically the phone crammed full of every feature the company could think of. But this year, the S25 Ultra is actually taking a step backwards with the S Pen. The motion gestures and useful remote camera shutter function has been removed, and the stylus is back to being just a stylus. My what would I even call them? Like my brother-in-law, my sister slash my cousin's husband. He just got an S24 Ultra for like Christmas, and the family was asking me, should we wait for like the S25? I'm like, no, you can save 30%, 40% on price. You are not, like I asked, do you care about AI shit? Do you care about one camera that will be meaningfully better? And he's like, nah. So I was like, yeah, fine, get it and save a lot of money. I mean, they would have saved even more money if they had waited until now, but his old Huawei phone was like giving up. It's like real garbage at this point because of like, it just doesn't support apps because it doesn't have access to the Google Play Store. So yeah, definitely S24 Ultra, good choice there. And if you are somebody who really cares about a few gimmicks with the S Pen, apparently now it's an even better choice. You can still wave it around like a magic wand, but the phone won't do anything. Yeah, I was really surprised when I saw the beginning of the sentence. But not just like the meme, not gonna lie, you had me at the first half. During a media briefing on the new S25 series last week, Samsung explains that customers rarely ever use the air action gestures. That brings us now to like what, the third or fourth wave of like air stuff. You remember when you could like wave your hand in front of the phone, right? And you could technically control it. You could do like touch gestures and shit like that in the air. Where Samsung was like, if your hands are greasy or you're freshly coming out of the pool, right? I remember that being an ad. But let me actually look if I can find it. Samsung. What was it called? Air gestures? No, that's just the S Pen. Oh, that's there. Yeah, that was what's the original. I don't know why. I don't know why Samsung thought we might need that. But yeah, it's how old is this? It's 11 years old. But man, the S4 series was like, and I believe they even had like specific sensors and for like at least like proximity stuff, right? Samsung Air Gesture S4. What is the air gesture feature and how do I use it? Oh my. That's actually so interesting that they still have it on their website. The sensor can recognize the air gesture sensor is positioned at the top right above the screen. Does anybody remember that? I remember because a lot of people around me started buying smartphones around the S. Wait, which one, Jen, is this? Galaxy. This is the S4, right? So yeah, I think that's around it when most people started getting smartphones around me. And I just saw them like trying to show off this stuff to each other, and half the time it wouldn't work or it would work poorly. And I guess after taking out stuff like this, Samsung is now taking out more air gestures or air actions now. Dr. George Best, damn, the nostalgia. My mom enjoyed using the feature for a solid 5 minutes once she unboxed the phone and proceeded to disable all of that. That's what happened to everyone who I explained to, like, what this feature actually does. And they were like, really? Why would I want this now that I have at least a smartphone? And like, well, technically, if you like roll around in the mud, you wouldn't want to touch your screen and it probably wouldn't recognize your input. And they're like, okay, I'm disabling it. Air gestures were good on paper, but like, why? The problem is the S4 series. This was like back in the day where I feel like we had a lot of stuff where people thought they could dramatically improve on the basic iPhone formula, right? A relatively large screen, granted our understanding of what a large smartphone screen is has changed a lot over the years, right? But and simple multi-touch, right? And even over time, Apple tried it themselves, like 3D touch, Force Touch, all of that. But we had like 3D, right? We had all these air gesture stuff. We had all those like motion control gimmicks, even in a way where like phones had like really advanced sensors, so you wouldn't just swipe, but you would like do this in the air and shit like that. And then something like the stylus, because it's not a new idea, right? It's basically like turning it into a little notepad. That stuck, and that's what created the Galaxy Note series. But it's just a very, very like, yeah, it's just a very like discombobulated vision of the future when you think that this is what the future of smartphones should be. Galaxy S24 with like 699 apps pre-installed. Yeah, man. And I remember especially the S4 because the S3, the S2 actually felt somewhat smooth to me. Now, nowhere near as smooth as like my iPhone 4S back in the day. And in fact, my one friend who owned the Galaxy S2 actually ended up buying my iPhone 4S down the road when I got my iPhone 5. But yeah, the pre-installed app situation, and especially this is One UI day, so this is TouchWiz day, so that was really, really bad times in many ways. NJS, the storage options are a joke on the base S25. Wanted to upgrade from the S23 with 256 gigs. I thought they would have an S25 with 512. Yeah, I believe the base models are still limited in storage options, and they don't have any SD card functionality anymore. It's really disappointing how much these models are ending up being held back. So let's look at the S25 and the S25 Plus. Bless me, I guess. It says the S25 that gives you 512. This might this be like an online exclusive? That sometimes happens. The S25 and S25 Plus. Yeah, here no, you can get 512 gigabytes. Could that do it for you, NJS? Mr. George West, do you remember the radar feature in the Pixel 4 series? Yes, I do. That was what was coming to mind, but I forgot if like HTC had a phone like that or if that was the Pixel. In fact, you are correct. Got it was trash and kind of reminded me of it. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was in theory a more advanced version. And what's funny is because radar is sometimes seen as like a military grade feature, it actually was very limited to what region Samsung, Google could bring the Google Pixel 4 because of it. I believe they couldn't like launch it in India and stuff like that because like that radar or frequency is just limited. Like it's like in terms of regulations, you're just not allowed to utilize it. And that was just so funny. Yeah, and like 3D touch, at least 3D touch actually worked, right? Like in comparison to all these other features, like 3D touch was cool AF. But 3D Touch unfortunately took up too much space in the device. And JS, my old S20 FE could have over 1 terabyte of storage. Yeah, though you cannot really get SD cards unless you look at the absolute latest SD Express standard in its highest end version, which wouldn't really work for smartphones. You would have to create like PCIe 4.0 lanes, give up 2 of those, and then you would have 38, 40 megabits per second, I believe, of top speeds in there. Yeah, definitely SD cards were this is why I always think that Samsung doesn't actually have firm beliefs, because after years of advertising stuff like removable batteries, SD card support, right, to remove and headphone jacks, to remove all of it and just pretend like it never was there. Like, people make fun of the Phil Schiller comment about like, oh, it takes courage to remove stuff. But it actually does take courage to acknowledge that, right? Because by the time Samsung removed the headphone jack, they weren't acknowledging that. They were just like, oh yeah, it's a fact of life. Deal with it, you bastard. Mr. George Best, not gonna lie, having an SD card was the only feature I envied Android users for having. I always got the highest configs whenever I got iPhones back in the day. So I wasn't as envious, but I remember a few friends who had like 8 or even 16 gigabyte iPhones, and they were like, yeah, and some Android fans were like popping in 64 gigabyte SD cards. Yeah, there was definitely a gap in there. NJS in the US, I only see 128 and 256, but I specifically clicked on the US website. Let me look here. Yeah, it's USA and English. That's weird. Are you looking at the buy section or are you looking at the tech specs? But I've seen it at both now. For the base S20, okay, in the US it's showing up to 1024 gigabytes. For the base S25 on the US Samsung side, I don't think they have a 512 gigabyte. Oh, I clicked on the plus here. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're actually correct for the base model. Wait, so I think my tech specs was like maybe I had forgot to upgrade it. Yeah, you are correct. You are limited to 256 gigs. That's a shame. So how much is the S25 Plus too large for you? Because but the S25 Plus costs $200 more. Just for the size, for the size increase and the larger base storage. Okay, so it's not bad. It's the same difference basically as between the 16 Pro and the 16 Pro Max. But I guess if you pre-order, you can get the Plus with 512 gigabytes for almost the same price. I don't know. It doesn't seem really worth it to me. Like, I don't recommend people buy like an iPhone 16 Plus with 512 gigs either. But hey, at least at this time you get it for the same price. But I also know some people really want the smaller model. Maybe, the Galaxy S25 Edge, like that slim model, could make sense for you once they announce it. Maybe you should wait. I don't know. It's really hard to recommend it. I just don't like the smallest version at all. I just think that 4,000 milliampere hours is too small for the latest Snapdragon 8 series chips. Like, I really think that because they have some fixed power consumption when it comes to standby, cellular connectivity and stuff like that, right? Yes, you save some energy by having a smaller screen, but then all like your standby usage just keeps consuming the same fixed amount, and now you end up with way lower battery life. Mr. George Best, I don't know why Samsung UK is already giving a discount. They always do that. They've been doing that for like the past 3 or 4 years at the very least. I think they really like having good sales early on. And usually these models, like the 256 stuff and things like that, they'll just discount them anyway, but just a few months later. So offering the 512 gigabytes at this price is honestly what they would price it at. But because people people don't see the discount, which is a big psychological effect, they wouldn't buy it. But because this one looks like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose out on saving $120, I briefly turned into Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh my God, get to the chopper, you have to save $100. Yeah, that was a bad Arnold. Oh my God, my bad. NJS was looking at the Ultra. The base is the same as your end. Yeah. By the way, Mark, how are the prices in you right here in England? They're giving £100 discount. Yeah, the discounts on like the base store, the storage, that is universal. I think that through Samsung's website, that's basically what is happening across the world. I can look, I guess, into the actual prices of these models here in Europe, like at least specifically in Germany. So the S25 Plus is 1149 euros. I believe that's very similar to the 16 Plus. Oh, no, actually, please lead me for once to the German website. Oh, by the way, look at this. Apple has deleted non-USB-C iPhones from their European websites because no Lightning anymore. So it's $949 for the base version and it's $1099 for the 16 Plus. Honestly, except for promotion, like I know that the S25 Plus will also have like more RAM. I know it will have like more like the Snapdragon 8 Elite is faster than the A18, right? We can argue about the A18 Pro, but it's definitely faster, except for single core performance, than the A18. But like, man, this is at this point doesn't look too bad, I have to admit. But at least for this price, you're getting 128 gigabyte, right? While Samsung right now, because technically it starts for them at 256, and they're offering a discount for you to basically get 512. So now you're saving $400. So that makes now a big difference. Yeah, but European prices definitely are not too nice. Let me look actually at the. So for one, let me look at the iPhone's price. Granted, that's MSRP. You can get the 16 Pro Max discounted by at least 150 euros. So keep that in mind. But that's $1449. And when I look at Samsung here, going back to no, that's the US website. I know it's $12.99 there. Did I close the German one? No, here it is. So Samsung mobile Galaxy smartphone, Galaxy S25 Ultra, pre-order. And you'll find it starting at $1449, the same price. You get a little bit more RAM, but then again, Android needs more RAM. And yes, right now you can get 512 gigabytes for the same price, but so you can on the iPhone. Usually Amazon discounts the 512 gigabyte versions by around $200, which, given that the iPhone charges more per upgrade when it comes to storage, you kind of end up in the same way. With 1 terabyte at $1,569, you're probably cheaper than any iPhone 16 Pro Max. You're probably paying more like $1,650, $1,700 on the iPhone there, even after some discounts. I mean, looking at the 1 terabyte model by default, it's $1,949. So even with a $250 discount, right, you're still quite expensive here. Yeah, but that's about it for today, guys. We've been streaming now for well over 2 hours. I'm very, very tired. Give me your last questions, your last topic suggestions. You can hear that my voice, especially after that amazing Arnold impression, is just starting to give up, so I apologize. I'll be streaming tomorrow, though I don't know the exact time. It will depend when I get ready at work, finished at work, yeah. But tomorrow we should be getting the reviews for the RTX I believe for both the 5090 and the 5080. Maybe it will just be the 5090. So we've had like at this point some like breakdowns of the new cooler and shit like that, but it will be interesting to see how much faster it actually is. I would argue much more interestingly here is actually going to be the 5080, because it's at least in a price range that regular people can somewhat afford at $1,000. Yeah, the 5090 will get larger generational improvements, but that's also because it gets a big boost in power consumption and it costs 25% more. So yeah, like I'll be looking a lot into both. I don't know if we're getting reviews for both, but definitely the 5090 at the very least, as far as I understand. So it's a very light on Apple topics week, but I still think we'll have enough to talk about. And then afterwards, I'm going away for the weekend. So probably next stream, either next Monday or next Tuesday. Let us look if there's any new rumors here. Like S25 Edge is edging us with new news. M4 MacBook. Yeah, the rest is all pretty self-evident. There's nothing crazy there. Yeah, so I'll have plenty to cover tomorrow. I'll be looking probably into like a hardware unboxed review or a Gamers Nexus review. Of course, you can keep asking me then questions like more about like what we just saw with the S25 series or not. And you can ask me, of course, any Apple related stuff. That's where my expertise is, to anybody who is finding this video and is new to this community. Yeah, but that's about it for today. Thank you guys. Before we fully wrap up, my last shout out for you to do what we call around here the YouTube jazz. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it out with anybody who you think might enjoy it. Comment. Please don't just comment live. It helps a lot if you can comment afterwards too. That helps a lot with the algorithm. Just like a hi or something nice. So that's one plea that I have. Otherwise, whenever you catch me live, you can leave a super chat or a super sticker. You can obviously become a channel member right here on YouTube. Shout out again to Angelica, Max, Maximus, and Steve, who are MarkTech Pro Max supporters right here on YouTube. Or you can become a supporter on Patreon. There are a few different tiers there, including a free one just so for you to easier communicate with me. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter, on Blue Sky. The more guys of you find me on Blue Sky, the more reasons I have to leave the hellhole that is Twitter. So please support me in that endeavor. And I'll see you next time. Leave me your suggestions what I should cover. This is MarkTech tuning out.